And we are on. Hello, my satellite friends and neighbors. It's Robbie Strike here to talk about free-to-air satellite, over-the-air TV, all sorts of tech. Apparently, I misspelled something in that. I apologize for that tonight. So we're in the chat room here using Mr. Restream. It's the software for tonight. So yeah. So today's episode is brought to you by Viankyo headphones, the earbuds for this thing. Wait, I haven't checked to see if my audio is working. I guess you can see it over here. Previewing my... Hey, it looks like it's working. I'm just using my laptop behind me as my preview. I guess it should be in the microphone here, though. Live stuff, right? So, hey, yeah, you can join me here in the chat room. I have that little link there. That thing there, call in tonight, the studio thing. If you click on that, I believe I posted it on my Facebook and on my, not YouTube, but on my Facebook. And other social media places. So yeah, we just wanted to talk free to air broadcast stuff today. So I'm gonna pull up Linksat and we'll talk about Orby TV, because I've had a lot of Orby TV people come and chat with me and talk about getting a receiver and using your Orby TV dish to receive free satellite TV, to receive free to air. So I'm just gonna cut to my little screen thing here, and we're gonna go do a little talk about Starlink tonight too, and the new receiver video. I haven't released this video yet. It's coming from the Amiko, and the Amiko H.265 is now in stock, so I have a link for that if you want to order one of those, especially if you're an Orby TV customer and you want to go free to air. And there's a 4K one too. We'll talk about that coming up. So, oh yeah, I want to bring up this. So, if you do have Orby TV, I don't know if I can bring that into this shot. There. Okay, I just want to show the screen here and put me maybe in the lower corner or something. Does it not let me do that? Okay, I'm using this software for the first time. So I never know how to pronounce this guy. The EU Set 117 West is what Orby TV was using. And even Linksat is taken down their information, so it's not there. But if you are an Orby TV customer, you can take, I'm going to go scroll down. The one confusing thing is people look at Linksat and they'll see the 4-digit charts and they'll see all the C-band channels, and you can't get those with the Orby TV dish. You'll need a large C-band dish. Most of the free satellite TV programming is on C-band, where you need a large dish to pick it up. Different type of LMB usually typically picks that up. So I just wanted to show that if you do put a free-to-air satellite receiver on that satellite, that a lot of the Orby, without moving it, you will get BYU TV, which is an HD channel. Now, you might not be interested in that, but if you do get a receiver, I just highly recommend, before you move your dish, scan that satellite in, so that at least you have that as a reference. It won't have the it won't have the Orby TV channels, but it'll have BYU, which I've talked to people in the chat room, and they've said that that's the one transponder they're able to put on there and get a free satellite TV channel. So might not be what you're interested in, because it's just one channel. A lot of satellites that are on KU band especially only will have 1 or 2 channels that are available. So you have to decide what you want. And that's why a lot of free satellite TV people might have 2 or 3 KU band dishes and 1 C band dish, or however you go about doing that. Yeah, so I just wanted to go back to that screenshot there. Okay, so we got this on here. So other satellites that are KU band that you could get is 125 west. So that would mean you would move your satellite dish west of where it's pointing right now. And all these channels are C-band, so they won't work. But there's PBS. And when I say PBS, it's not just PBS. It's like PBS plus like 4... Kurt's in there tonight. I know Kurt's not going to have his camera on, but I'll talk to you in a minute here, Kurt. I'm just going to go through my whole presentation here. So there's PBS Create, and this is the frequency here on Linksat where you can get that. Good satellite to get. There's about 8 different PBS channels, and there's also Montana. There's also on 87 West. Kurt says PBS rules in the private chat. Yeah. Oops, let me click on that. It makes that go in there. So there's also 87 West, which also has PBS channels, but also will have the CNN News Source channels, Patient channel. What else? There's some Florida channel. Now I like the feeds on the satellite. It's fun to get, and yes, Montana on the other satellite is harder to pick up. So that's KU band 87 West. Not a huge amount of channels, but some fun stuff to pick up over there. And over on 91 West, just scroll down to the KU band stuff that you can get. Sometimes you can get CBS and Fox. Now I don't really care too much for that because I can get that on antenna, the over-the-air antenna. And what was another one here I just like to mention, especially when you have an Orby TV dish, is for KU band. It has CCTV or CGTV, which is like a Chinese channel. We got a few people in here. Yeah, I got the fish tank from Brandon. Cool. So. Oh, wow, that's cool. I guess I could turn Kurt on. I think I can hear your audio.
Oh, you don't hear any audio?
I got it on now, Kurt. I was just going through. You could talk with me on this one, too, because I'm just going through like the KU band channels that are available.
Yeah, back to that 87 West. What's this what do you call it? The CNN stuff you're talking about.
I'm just going to put my headphones on so we don't get feedback. CNN News Source.
Oh, the News Source HD1, HD2, those?
Yes. It's not like the actual talking head anchor stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the feeds, which actually, in some ways, I like that. They show the full press conferences and things like that, not just, the talking heads. So that's one thing I like about that. And so there's that. Not a whole lot on 87, but I do point it there. I like the news feeds there, and also I can watch wrestling on that on Mondays and Tuesdays at like 11:30. They have the Ring of Honor wrestling. Of course, there's Galaxy 19. Galaxy 19 probably has the most amount of free-to-air channels. These are all the C-band channels here at the top of the list. Now, there's lots of faith-based religious channels, Christian channels on this. There's a movie channel on here called Positive TV. There's Smile of a Child. There's TBN. There's a few news channels on here, too. There's lots of international channels. Something interesting to point at and see what's there. And if it doesn't interest you, that's cool. Radio channels, too. There's lots of radio channels on Galaxy 19. Oh, that's Brandon. Brandon, I'm going to turn your fish tank down, okay? It's quite loud.
I did hear a tank, yeah.
But Galaxy 19 is a fun one to just play around with. There's lots of content there. It's just, I've had a lot of flack for people saying they don't want religious or international channels. But there's a lot of channels on Galaxy 19. There used to be and the thing is I got to scan Galaxy 19 to see if there's like a diamond in the rough in there, right? And so I'm going to go over to 99 West. Doesn't have a whole lot there either, but there's a few channels. There's lots of feeds, news truck feeds around 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. You'll see the news trucks. There's this Russia media group. This is probably the stronger transponder on the satellite, and you can pick up like a few radio stations. Sometimes it's in the clear, but not always. And there's Infowars at 10 or 12 095. It has a very low symbol rate. So I've had a lot of people write to me this week that transponder, it's not working as well. They've been having dropouts, and I've seen dropouts on that during the daytime. I'm wondering if it's sunspot activity. I am not sure on that, but that's what I'm thinking of that. And what else do we have on the list? Another one is a really good one. If you want NBC, is this one here. This is SES3 at 103 West. So if you do have an Orby TV dish, you could probably move it east a little bit and pick this satellite up. And you can get NBC and Cozy. I guess this would be the transponder here that works. I'm not sure which one. I just scanned in the NHK transponder, and then I found the NBC one. There's DW English, and there's NHK Japan, and SBN, and CGTV. Some receivers can get all this music stuff. I have a couple of receivers, and I can't pick that up for whatever reason.
You got to program them in.
Yes, yeah, they're manual PID entry, which I don't. I have some receivers, they do that automatically, and I don't know. Anyway, I don't mess too much with that. So anyway, I just wanted to go through that for those Orby TV people that might be wondering what channels. There's not a huge amount of channels, but you can use that dish and get a free-to-air, get an inexpensive free-to-air receiver, get PBS, get NBC, or maybe use it for Galaxy 19 just to see what's up there for like the cost of a receiver these days. It's like I've seen them at very reasonable prices. Just going to go through the comments here. Oh, so Kurt, so some news, I guess, to Syracuse. I guess they're going to go ATSC 3.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And that's the
Sinclair Broadcasting. And I can't even find an ATSC tuner anywhere.
Well, that's another story, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to do the audio on. I should probably learn how to do the PID entry or whatever that is and just show people how to do that. I've never really bothered. There's so many radio channels on Galaxy 19 that I like talk radio anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't know where to get it. It's going to be another couple years before the ATSC.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a while for that all to roll out.
My brother asked, "Is the government going to send us a coupon like they did back in was it 2009 or 8? I forget when the coupons were." Yeah.
It's kind of like with C-band. Like you hear all the stuff with C-band and 5G. There's only only a few cell phones that are capable of doing 5G. And I watched a video where they were doing testing with 5G cell phone technology, and it's like, wow, it's really fast. But if I move and walk with my 5G cell phone, it drops the signal back to the 2 gigahertz instead of the 5G, whatever 5 gigahertz, whatever C-band frequencies that it's using. So. And also with 5G, they have to put it on an existing infrastructure. In my municipality, there's like a backlash to that. There's groups of people, they don't want, they don't know the health concerns of 5G, and they've been some pushback on that. But obviously these big, telecommunication, they just go ahead and put it in anyway, right? And so I've had a few people ask me, I got the globe out here. So I've had people who are Orby customers saying, can I get CNN? Because they Googled that they can get CNN on free-to-air satellite. But the problem is when they show me the satellite that it's an Eastern satellite. So it's like somewhere in Europe, or it could be like, there's CNN in China, I don't know, Asia, CNN Asia, or channels like that. And so I like to hold my globe as the example. So the satellites are kind of like flying like this above the planet. So that satellites that work for like Europe, Africa's satellite is huge in Africa. I talk to a lot of people that are in Africa. That's like it's huge. That's why they're selling so many GT Media and these low cost satellite receivers, is because there's a huge market for it. Europe and Africa and places like that, Russia, like, and all places like that. That's how they watch TV, is with KU band satellite. Here in North America, we've been programmed to think that you have to pay for TV, and so there's a lot of people that I talk to don't even know that you could still put a TV antenna up and get free channels. Like, that's you'd be surprised how many people don't. And then when I talk to people online, and they're like, and they live in big cities where you get like over the air TV, and over the air TV is like cable back in the 80s, right? It was like hundreds of channels. Well, not hundreds, but like almost 100 channels. So for me back in the 90s with cable, I got about 60 channels on cable. And then there was times when up in my upstairs room, I had rabbit ears. We didn't have the cable running up there, and I got 3 channels. So North Coaster Hobby says 103 West, use the audio button on the remote to select the audio track. I think so. On some receivers that it comes up that way. Tinfoil hats. You know, I have a tinfoil hat right here, actually. It's like a blast from the past.
Oh, there you go.
From the 5G. You don't want to get the 5G radiation into your brain, and then that will affect you. We don't want 5G. No 5G. 5G is bad. 5G is evil. We don't want 5G. No 5G. All right. I've been possessed by the spirit of Weird Walter. Okay. Yeah, I already showed. Raymond says, they think it's dead tech. Yeah, I hear that a lot about satellite. It's like people in the certain forums, they're like, satellite is dead. It's like, actually, satellite is just about to become bigger than ever with satellite internet, with these low Earth cube satellites. So
that's amazing. They send them off 60 or some odd at a time.
Yeah. I'm going to mute your audio, Brandon, but there's Brandon's fish tank streaming live here. He didn't want to be on, but it's his channel. He posted his satellites earlier today. I'm going to cut back to that. Oh, I got Kurt in the screen there. I got your photo there in the background.
Yeah, this laptop doesn't have a camera on it.
Yeah, that's good. Not every laptop needs that anyway.
So where did he post the satellites?
Pardon me?
Where did he post the satellite picture?
He has a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. For the Sinclair TV stations at Syracuse, I'd like to. Yeah. Actually, I want to get them because I'm hoping. Here's what I'm hoping, because I could get the channels from Syracuse all the way up here in Kingston. But sorry, there's a bunch of comments here. I'm just missing them all. With
which day I've got to rescan it. It's saying on the actual channel. But
yes, I thought it was the 10th or 11th.
Yeah, it sounds right.
I'm hopeful, praying and hoping that on KU band satellite they'll be using some KU band. Actually, KU band should be doing some scanning of KU band right now too, because it's the sun outage time of year. So they tend to move or have backup feeds on different satellites on different transponders because of sunspot activity. So that's something I don't know if the Ion Mux on 131 West will stay there forever, because that's another thing. It's just happened recently. Is Ion TV? What's the company that Scripps Broadcasting? W something Scripps has merged with Cats Broadcasting, which owns the Laugh Channel and different channels like that. And
Cubo's gone.
Yeah, Cubo's gone. I never watched Cubo. I never watch Ion Network really either. I'm not a fan of Blue Bloods. Like, that's what they show all the time, is Blue Bloods on the Ion Network. So
I was watching it with when my daughter was younger, but yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, there's one less.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of crime shows, so it's but there is no shortage of crime networks. If you like crime TV, I mean, there's a court channel, there's mystery, or all these channels that are. I like comedy. I guess there's at least there's like 3 of them that I can think of right off. Antenna TV, there's Laugh, there's Me TV. Maverick says, oh, hopefully this is okay. Yeah, they fit it in. Hello, Robbie, watching from Mississauga, Ontario. Quick question: with ATS3 impacting the channel lineup over the air antenna, will this leave the satellite lineup channels unaffected? Well, satellite is going through a repack itself. So C-band is what's happening with C-band is they're moving a lot of the satellites to the higher part of the arc, so they won't get the terrestrial interference. And so that will help with the 5G technology. So they're still putting C-band satellites into orbit. There's still future plans of C-band going up in satellite, and also C-band. What the uplinkers don't tell people is they're not using the satellites to its full potential. They can fit a lot more channels and data on the satellites, and they're not. Like on KU band, when you go through the KU band satellites, and there's not even used to be KU band. Each satellite's pretty much had at least one channel, which is great for trying to set up a motor for a dish, because you could find each satellite had at least one channel that you could lock into. Mark asks, can I get Europe, Canadian, and Australian channels in the UK? I don't think there's a whole lot of Australian channels. Oh, in the UK? Canadian and Australian in the UK. I don't think there is a whole lot of that type of stuff that I'm aware of. I'm just going to mute your mic there, Kurt, okay? I'm hearing the background noise. Yeah, I'll put it on lower and I'll bring you up if you're talking again.
He might be able to get 107 if he's got C-band.
I don't think he can get 107 from Europe. You can get 55 West, but I don't know if you can reach 107.
Yeah, I have to look up its footprint.
Yeah. Yeah, Ion's over the air. Ion's a channel I don't get over the air reliably. I can see it now. I did a scan with my HD home run, and I saw it today, and I saw all the new channels that the Cubo and Ion Life and all that's gone. And there's new channels that group, the Scripps Broadcasting. They have a reality TV channel coming out. That'll be launching in April, I believe it is what I read. More reality TV, I guess. But really, Ion Life was almost kind of like a reality TV. There's Dabble or Dabby or whatever. That's a channel that's on C-band on 97 West. Doug Miller says, Me TV all day long. If there's any channel that they should put on KU band, it should be Me TV and Antenna TV. I'd be happy with those. But I get them over the air reliably, which I'm thankful, except for Me TV. Me TV, I get, I get it reliably, but I believe it's Watertown that rebroadcasts it. They have it all boxed in, like the aspect ratios not good. It's almost as bad as TikTok. Not as bad as TikTok. TikTok's terrible. TikTok's the video site for people who don't know how to hold a video camera the right way. But yeah, I see Brandon's tank moving around here. He's moving his camera. That's exciting. It's like this is like Brandon. This is like watching when you're watching the news feeds, and you can see the camera moving. You wonder what's going to happen to the reporter. If someone's going to jump the reporter talking live, or get heckled. North Coaster Hobby says 97 West C-band has crime and comedy. Yes, that's true. And North Coaster Hobby has put out quite a lot of videos on his YouTube channel, so check them out. He's been subscribed to him. He's been doing some great work on the free to air hobby. I like seeing that. I want to see more awareness to free to air. That's kind of what I do. Why I do what I do. I'd like to, like, even if people are not interested in what you can get on free to air, I like them to know that there is options with free to air. And I mean, if you are in an area and you like PBS, and they've made a switch frequency, so you can't get PBS on a good frequency anymore. At least you can take an Orby TV dish, like this one here. Oh, don't stick your tongue out there. That's you can get a dish like this, and get PBS on something like this. You can get, hopefully you can get NBC and Cozy. And what else? And also you can, a lot of Orby TV customers, actually, I was surprised that they didn't realize that they can use the antenna and hook it up to their TV and actually get free TV. It's just like how some people, they don't realize that, they got this company to set up their antenna and they still have to pay for it. Like, no, it's free. It's good to have, another thing about that is to have, the backup, because your internet connections are not always going to be working properly. Like, what if you have an ice storm? What if what if there's power outages and the internet's not working everywhere? It's good to have that backup up, or radios and things like that. Danny Shortwave and Radio DX, greetings from Yonkers, New York. Yeah, and Shortwave, I was watching official Shortwave radio channel just for a little bit today. I check out his content at times because I like shortwave radio too. That's like it kind of goes hand in hand. Free to air satellite is kind of like the shortwave radio of television, where you get these stations from all over the world. Yeah, lots of satellites are almost empty. Is there a chat in here? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? What's a good C-band sat for feeds? For sports feeds? Is that what you're talking about? I like 55 West on Monday nights to watch Monday Night Raw. That's but I'm not a sports fan, so probably somebody in the chat room could tell you what satellites have the sports and stuff like. I know there's lots of college football and college sports that are on C-band. The big league stuff, NHL, NBA, and whatever, they're all pay TV. Like they usually encrypt their stuff in the background. Chuck Jackson says, until KU figures a way to eliminate rain fade, C-band has a future. Yes, unless there's broadcast TV stations are able to have a designated streaming internet line, which there's a lot more backbone for that with internet and network connections these days. But they still use C-band. I don't know. I've always found the broadcast industry is always behind the times. Like they're almost like a dinosaur. They're not adapt. They don't adapt quick enough. So that would be interesting. Okay. So, Dab Lel, whatever it's called, is on 97 West 2. Yep. Yeah, yes. Minister Brandon says, support my YouTube channel. helped him learn about FDA. Oh, you got back into FDA from watching the channel. Yeah, I've had people tell me that too. They watched my channel and they got back into FDA. Danny Shortwave says, I need to do a over-the-air rescan later. I just did one last month. It was up to 68 channels. And I think we're going to go into a time now where a lot of areas, especially within this month, that if you're doing over-the-air tuning, watching, you may have to, especially with the ION network and, mergers and stuff, you may see channels move. Hopefully some areas will get Me TV. And there's a whole repack going on too. There's a phase of repacks with stations going with ATSC3. Dan Pete says Me TV has the Jetsons now. The Jetsons and the Flintstones. That's something my Sunday afternoon. I like Me TV. I like watching the Flintstones. Flintstones at lunchtime usually, and I'm a fan of the Brady Bunch. I like that corny stuff. I like Brady Bunch. I love Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that. There's Fish TV there. There's your fish there, Brandon. This is Minister Brandon's feed. Angry Maddox Miller. How do I join the feed? Here, I'll post that link in there again. So there's the Real Stream video call-in link. You can call in and talk to me. Turn your webcam on, but don't show anything inappropriate. I'm trying to see where I left off in the comments here. This is an interesting. I would never tune directly into a station because a station not allowed to have EES an emergency alert system. Danny says, I've been trying to find a C-band dish for ages. I am checking on Craigslist. Another place where I've seen them, Danny, is at Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if you're on Facebook. Just create a Facebook account just for that. It'd be worth it, and then just trash it, whatever. Well, join our group. We have a group here on Facebook for free-to-air stuff. I've created the same group in WeMe, which is another social media group. Have one on Gab and on Minds and all these other little. If Facebook goes down, there'll be something to go to. I've posted some of my videos on Rumble, so I have this Rumble account and BitChute, but I don't have TikTok. TikTok's not for me. TikTok's for those people that don't know how to hold a camera the right way. So I don't post on TikTok. Raymond is my bud. was getting rotten. Yeah, I see people have like trees around them and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't know if you got to take them apart and get new screws. I just leave it together. Although you got to sometimes replace the mesh, and there's like mesh replacement kits that they sell. Oh, this is an interesting. Okay. BP, Glockmaster. Hey, Robbie, 17K on KU band dish for C band is bad. Should I get 13K? I'm in Portugal and reception of 55 West is good. I got 40% on Bolivia TV with an 80 centimeter dish. 80 centimeter. A centimeter. I'm trying to think what's 80 centimeter. How many feet is that? Not big, I don't think. About rain fade. Hi. A friend had DirecTV, but I used an antenna for my TV in heavy rain. Antenna TV didn't go out, but DirecTV would go out. Yeah, I guess with terrestrial signals, it depends on the frequency too, eh? You won't work as well at times. It's more reliable at times for the KU band. C band is pretty good, but I find with my C band dish when it's windy, it's just like the actuator. There's a little bit of free play where the actuator is, so it can a gust of wind can kind of move the dish a little bit, and sometimes it'll like and then sit back to where it's supposed to sit. Raymond says Adam 12. I believe that's back on Me TV, or yeah, Me TV was it on Cozy for a while? David Carter says I enjoy the Bahamas Mux on 87 C band. Yeah, that's a good one. The 87 C band, and there used to be more. Like it used to have retro TV on 87. Then retro moved to 113 West, was it? And or is it on 117 West? Actually, I got 117 West listed here. I don't know if retro is on the Orby set, or is it on the old Orby set now? I don't see it. Or is it on 113? I would get them mixed up because of so much Latin American stuff on those two. 17. Look at retro. No. Oh yeah. Someone will answer that in comments there. They'll know where retro is. I hope retro TV goes back to KU band. It used to be on Galaxy 19. I loved it. Brandon says the Jetsons rock. Your camera shut down, Brandon. Oh, that's fine. All I can say is you have it to do. Jetsons. Jane, the wife, takes the money. #modern. Yeah, I wonder if you watch the Jetsons, and now that we're in 2021, how much of that stuff that they're predicting in the 60s is actually exists now, right? I mean, some of it probably does. I'm just gonna move my mic only back. I got a new chair. My wife put it together before me, and everything is great. Yeah, just show your satellite dishes. Car guy says, no Me TV in my area off the air. If I had space, I would get a C-band dish just for that channel. Yeah. I mean, it's a good one. I'm not a fan of MASH, but I know there's a lot of people that's like the big channel, the big show there. Hogan's Heroes was on there for a long time, and it I don't know. It's over on 99 West, the Family Entertainment Channels, which shows like a bunch of the old shows. You know what I was saying the other day? Two shows I wish were on either Antenna TV or on Me TV would be Perfect Strangers, which was like an ABC comedy. It was like one of the thank good TGIF shows that was on, like, and then Full House and Family Matters and all that. I'd love to see Perfect Strangers again. And what was the other one? Oh gosh, I forget now. But I on Antenna TV every Saturday morning, I've been watching Mork and Mindy just to watch Robin Williams when he's at his craziest. It is HD, but really the Me TV shows are basically up converted, but yeah, they're pretty good. Kurt asks, can you confirm that CBC Montreal on 114.9? Yes, it's a French version of the CBC. So I'm reading, went up on private chat. But the French CBC is on that satellite, not the English, even though I pay for it through my taxes. And every Canadian does. Yeah, we don't get it any on free to air. We don't get it over the air in this area. Yeah, Danny, check it out. Free satellite TV for North American plus streaming plus over the air. Terrible title. I named my group. Kurt wants to watch, says he wants to watch Nature of Things on CBC. Although I'm pretty sure Nature of Things is on YouTube. I'm not 100%, or at cbc.com. They just, yeah. Raymond says they're getting harder and harder to find, but there still is. Oh, yeah. Kurt says he can't get CBC because of geo-blocking. Get ExpressVPN. If you go to my channel, any of my videos, I have a link for ExpressVPN. That's a referral link. I'd appreciate if you clicked on that link and got ExpressVPN. And you can watch shows in the UK. The funny thing is with YouTube is there's shows in the UK that you can't watch here. But if you want to watch Red Dwarf or a show like that, ExpressVPN, you can see stuff like that. And there was like, I was shocked. I don't know if anyone here is like a Red Dwarf fan, but there was like it went away for a while, but they brought it back like 10 years ago and had new episodes of Red Dwarf. And I was like, I didn't know about this. I watched like the original back in the 80s. That'd be another thing. We have Doctor Who on Retro TV, and Doctor Who was like he was on what, EBRU for a while, like the old episodes from the 80s, like, and that was kind of cool. It was weird. I don't understand it, but it was cool. It looked cool. It was low budget sci-fi. It's like, it was great. It's probably on YouTube though, Doctor Who. Oh yeah, Doctor Who's also streaming on Pluto. So I'm deep into my stream here, but yeah, that's true. You can find a C-band dish. You can ask people, and they'll give it to you. Yeah, a lot of people say to me, "Why don't you just stream? Well, you don't need a satellite dish. You could just buy an Amazon Fire Stick." I was like, "Yeah, but it's not as much fun." No, I just yeah, you can do all sorts of other stuff on YouTube. Like, I'm on YouTube all the time. And so yeah, there's tons of stuff to watch online. Like, I am probably on YouTube quite a lot. I mean, I'm usually checking things out on YouTube. Oh yeah. So PSA, everyone. So if you're going to put up TV antennas or satellite dishes or stuff like that, how do I get this to split screen with me? think I just select something like this. Something like that. No, that's maximize. There. Okay. Yeah. So safety first. Please have safety first for if you're going to do stuff like that. If you're going to do stuff, yeah, safety first. I don't know what it means by that. Yeah, so safety first. If you're putting up an antenna or satellite dish, don't be this guy. You know, use common sense. Don't hold me responsible. I put my C-band dish like a few feet off the ground. Someone's asking, is that Tyler installing an antenna there? I know it's not. It looks like some old guy, older than me. I got a picture show here I wanted to go through. It's not in any order. So with C-band, you can get a CKU band LMB. These are kind of fun. Make sure that you've okay. There we go. Make sure you've the thing about C-band too is this plate here. Here, I'm going to point at it with my mouse. A lot of the time in North America, you don't need to use the plate. That's one thing. What Jonathan says there, TikToks for, I don't want to pick on people for, when they were born. I could say things about any generation, good and bad. Raymond says needs to go out in the country to drive and find buds. Yeah. Dan Pete says, yeah, don't understand that there's, they don't understand that there's free to air satellite. Unfortunately, though, for us, it's that there's not a huge amount of channels on KU band. So like all these poor Orby TV customers that were just sort of left in the dark, they can get PBS, they can watch NBC, they can watch Cozy, they can watch religious channels. But there's not much else. I probably forgot something in there. Here's somebody who has some tips here. North Coaster. I've used parts of the old dish, stick mesh and spray paint it. I've made a Franken dish by combining Unimesh and a section of the Orbiton dish. Yeah, you can make a solid dish. I mean, and then there's some people that just hoard them. I got a picture of a person that is hoarding C-band dishes. So if you need a KU band dish, I support this type of dish, a 36-inch dish. You can get them on eBay. I have a shopping list thing on my. That's Brandon says that's a dish I have. Yeah, I have a dish like that too. All right, there we go. So I was looking for like people hoard dishes. Like, look at this guy. This is like in the equator. You could tell it's the equator. And this is not Google. This is not Google Street View, but I went and looked on Google Street View because I'm a satellite nerd, and there is a ton of dishes that point just almost like straight up because when they're so close to the equator. How do I disable this private chat because it keeps blocking my view here? Dan Pete says I watched the 9/11 wild feeds. Yeah, any big news event, it's cool to have when you have you get everything that's going on in the backhauls and feeds. So subscribe to my channel. Get yourself a satellite finder, especially if the power goes out. I've had this happen to me where the power went out, and this thing has like, I don't know how long the battery lasts, but long enough before the power came on. I can never keep up with the comments. Sorry if I missed some here. I'm just trying to scroll down here. This is the LMB I use for KU band. It's a universal, so I have to enter 10 650. 650, 10, something like that. I'm getting tired. $10,600. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah. This is a few local restaurants that have buds. Yeah, a lot of the restaurants, they had them because I guess cable charges like a whack. They charge extra to do all that. Oh, Trevor Warren's in here too. Oh, cool. Turn you on there, Trevor, if you want to talk. Not sure, Maverick. Do you recommend watching over-the-air TV via PC streaming? I use HD Home Run, and I use the an Open ATV box, which allows me to send the signal voice like over the IP.
Is this working? Hello.
Yeah, you're on, Trevor. I hear your voice.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
How are things in the Newfoundland with? Oh gosh, I saw a video you showed there of the snow that you got there. Well, that's Newfoundland all the time, I guess.
Not all the time, just during winter, obviously.
Yeah, every winter. I mean, that's like crazy.
Yeah, not as bad as last year though with Snowmageddon.
Oh, was it worse last year?
Yeah. Oh, last year was really bad.
Someone was asking when I was drinking mason jar, just water. It's colored because like I spray lime into it. CB Wolf says VPNs are the way to go. Yeah, I use it whenever on my cell phone, whenever I'm using public Wi-Fi, because I'm cheap and I don't pay for data. So I just use public Wi-Fi, but use a VPN when you're doing it. It's like $10 a month, or not even $10 a month. It's like $100 a year or something like that, whatever I pay.
That's cool because my VPN is expiring a couple weeks, so I'll probably end up switching over to ExpressVPN.
Yeah, click on my link when you get it. Give me a small referral would be nice.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Maddox asks, "Are you in your basement right now? Are your kids' playroom looks funny in there?" Yeah, this is like I try to tidy up a little bit, but yeah, it's I don't know if you can see the stuff in the background, just toys and stuff. Danny says, "Yeah, VPN rocks. I use it with my Fire Stick. Watch some channels that are geo-blocked. Actually, I need that here. I haven't figured out how to get the Roku TV to like do Pluto TV. I can watch Pluto TV in the browser, but I can't watch Pluto. I don't know if you got a VPN, Trevor, you can use that for watching Pluto TV, and that's like hundreds of channels, and it's I wish they had that on free satellite TV, because it's like dollar store cable, you know. It's gives you a whack of channels, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to pay for this. There's ads, but there's ads on cable anyway. Like, people are trying to tell me that cable's way better, you know, these the mainstream news channels, whether it be Fox or CNN. The same two channels have the same pharmaceutical drug ads and all that.
Yep, got that right. Pluto TV, yeah, I was trying to use that, but when I set up my Roku account, I chose Canada. So even if I use a VPN, I can't I
You
can't
can,
do it unless I
yeah,
change it back to US.
yeah, you can actually use Pluto, but it'll only give you like 7 channels if you're in Canada, not the hundreds of channels that you can get on Pluto if you're on an American IP address.
Yeah. I was using Sling for a while, using my friend's Sling account, which I'm not sure if it's a bit iffy, but he doesn't have it anymore. And I found that pretty cool. I just wish something like that was available here in Canada to subscribe to our own local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I did find one thing. I'm not sure if you heard the company V Media. It's a very low budget Canada, a very low budget company here in Canada.
Yes, I have heard of it, and I almost thought about doing a review on it, but I thought, no, it's like it was heavily promoting global, and I can't stand global. They're probably owned by Chorus, or have some affiliation there.
Yeah. They have something called River TV. So like 30 channels for like $16 a month, Canadian channels. So.
Oh yeah. Joe Kirk is asking: Is it just me, or they cannot receive Cozy using configured standard 10750 LMB? I was picking up Cozy fine with my. I have a 36-inch dish, and I found that transponder, the NBC transponder, was always kind of weak. But I just thought it's because it was up here, and I was that far up north in Canada. It could be depending on your area or region. I don't know if you're using one of the Orby dishes. That's one thing I'd like to get confirmation if someone down the States is able to re-aim an Orby TV dish to be able to pick that up. And I think Orby TV's LMB would be like a 10750 input on your satellite receiver. Did you have Orby TV, Trevor?
Oh no, I didn't. The person we were speaking to last stream that I joined in mentioned he had it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I got Ignite from Rogers.
Oh, okay, yeah. And you'd be like so far, a little bit like north and east, that I don't know if the satellite would be beamed in that area.
I tried. Now I only use a 75 centimeter Shaw dish.
The bigger one.
Is not the best. Yes, because that's what all the Shaw dishes you find around here are 75 centimeters. And I tried to get stuff using a satellite receiver, and I didn't pick up anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess I'm so far out.
Yeah. It's just. This is a picture here. This is my Motorola DSR 6000 receiver, which I haven't actually gotten video playing off it yet. I've been kind of played around with it and got bored with it. I was able to connect to the user interface, but then I wasn't able to figure out how to actually scan in the channel. I think I could figure that part out, but I couldn't get the channel to play the video to my like I was hoping it would work in a way where I'd be able to get it play in VLC, and I haven't seen any online tutorials where they show that, so I haven't really gotten this going yet. And there's the back of it.
No, Kurt, that's I believe that's a DigiCipher box, isn't it?
It actually does DVB-S2 and DigiCipher.
Yeah, because some person asked, is it a PowerView stuff? No, it's DigiCipher.
Yeah. But it will do DigiCipher in the clear. I need to have a card to make it work, like with the encryption stuff. But it can pull in the clear stuff.
Yeah, like the stuff that was available on ANIC F1 at 107.1 West.
Yeah, and there's a few of them. Yeah,
but Shaw shut down that satellite. Well, that satellite is basically abandoned now. But they switched everything over to ANIC G1. So I have some old Shaw equipment, and I hooked it up, and I was aimed perfectly at the Shaw because on my actual Shaw equipment, I was getting full signal, but I could not pick up the free stuff anymore, like Knowledge and a couple other channels I used to get. So.
Paul was asking what HD Homerin is. I've done a review on it. If you type that into my YouTube channel, or just type it in, you'll see it. It's kind of like it's a tuner, but it connects to your home computer network. Kind of like this thing here is what this thing will do. It connects to the network for satellite receivers, and there's other satellite receivers that'll do that. But So yeah, essentially what the HD home run is, you plug it into your network, and then you can watch your over-the-air TV via the network. So if you have your TV in a room and you don't have cable running out to it, you can watch, even with a Roku TV, you can watch your HD home run without having, and just connect it to your Wi-Fi and get those channels that way. So it's kind of a neat, yeah. So that's that thing. I've abandoned the project for right now with this receiver. Just doing other things, and yeah. Pluto TV using an Express VPN, you can figure that out. It's you get channels. Now I could be watching Pluto TV, but I'm like watching my satellite dish. But there's a lot of good channels on Pluto TV. And we'll do some back in the day talk here on this one. So this, I think it's a Radio Shack, or it could be a European screenshot of a catalog from the 80s when they would sell C-band dishes. So this would be the receiver, save 600 and 1300. What's this here? 8-foot dish system, regularly 1000 or something. I can't make that out.
Wow, that's insane. That's a pretty.
Yeah. Remote control satellite TV system with stereo sound. Ooh, save on Radio Shack's feature packed system. Call and install yourself. Oh, this is the one with the HH motor on. I've seen this maybe once or twice before, where it actually has the motor on the, instead of an actuator, it has that kind of this type of motor thing here. You don't see haven't seen too many of those. It has an LMB, the cable. Can't really make it in this picture, but the cable would have gear drive. There's what is okay. There's the high efficiency feed horn, and then the feed horn cover.
That's insane. You can get a whole free to air system now for what, under $1,000 on the cheap end.
C-band, if you look around on C-band, yeah, you can get global is like Fox and NBC. Oh yeah, I thought you meant like the news. No, yeah, the programming, yeah, the shows they show, yeah. The company that owns Viacom channels, yeah. Someone makes is that Dan Pete? Yeah, the company that owns Viacom own Pluto. Yeah. Here's the Diginets. So there's all the big networks, and Viacom is one of the big three, or the big 5 or 6. Here's my MIDI device and a 4K satellite receiver. I'm gonna go back to my.
That's the one I want, but it's so expensive on my budget.
Oh yeah. It's, you know what? You probably be able to figure this one out. Not too bad. It's the Edison 4K satellite receiver. Now, really, I'd recommend it if you have a C-band dish, just because it's bells and whistles and features. Then you get the NASA 4K channel, and really, there's just one 4K channel out there, just NASA. But it is kind of, the OpenATV interface is not the most user friendly. I'll put it that way. It's not bad. I figured it out, and I'm not that smart. But it's you just gotta have patience. The thing is, there's so many settings in the interface. It's overwhelming. Like with the amount of settings, it's almost like there's too many settings. Where a box, like, I don't know if I have a picture of it. I might have it right here. Just gonna cut away.
I'm actually looking at some old satellite equipment here on the Radio Shack catalog archive.
Oh yeah, those are fun. You go in the Radio. So this is the new one that's coming out. This would be the Amiko Mini satellite receiver. Now I talked to Michael, who sells these. I always recommend his channel. By the way, is I grab that sheet here. KE4EST. Subscribe to him on YouTube. He's done quite a few tutorials on the Amiko Mini H.265, which is pretty good receivers. It's been around for a while, but it's pretty much going to get 99.9% of the free-to-air channels. This one will get that 100% because it will get that NASA 4K channel. because this is 4K, and there's probably other channels out there that are available, but yeah, it's a small receiver. Like obviously so just gonna close the chat. The private chat, guys, is just could you chat in the YouTube chat, just because it's making every time it goes on, it blocks my screen here. So here's the remote. Here's the satellite receiver. This is what a satellite receiver is these days. It's not like that big brick thing that you would have in the olden days where, you know, it's like the size of a VCR or like one of those large disc player, the CED video disc or whatever. That's what makes me think of like the satellite receivers. So it's not much on the front, just a black box. It's got the two jacks there. One's the RS-233 and the IR in, because it has like this little IR adapter thing that you can stick this thing in the back of your TV and hide it that way. It's got two USB ports for recording and media files. This will play MP4s, MKVs, and stuff like that too. And just has your. What I do like about this though, it does have your analog output. You might not even use that, but just in case you want to use that for an older TV or whatever, it's there. If you have an analog video modulator, you want to output HDMI and standard definition and send it to another room, you can do it that way. And it has a network for like watching YouTube videos and things like that, but it's not like an Android or anything like that. It's its own proprietary thing.
Oh, okay.
YouTube will work on this, but I mean, it doesn't have Netflix or anything like that though. So, I mean, that'd be one cool feature if it did have Netflix, because like YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, like there's not a whole lot of services that you really need other than that. So yeah, that's the new satellite receiver. That's they're all sold out right now. When Orby TV went out of business, Michael is selling satellite receivers on eBay, and they usually sell like a little bit, but then they just sold right out. Orby TV people are finding out, hey, I can use this and get free. I'll try that out. And they saw the price of free-to-air receivers. I mean, they're not that expensive, even if it's just a few channels. Like an over-the-air receiver is like, I guess you can get them for 40, 50, $30 Walmart. You know, those cheap Allure Tech boxes.
DirecTV would be Direct Dish. What?
DirecTV World Dish. So the DirecTV World Dish does have a linear KU band LMB inside of it. So that's a way of getting around where you can use DirecTV. Now, a lot of the DirecTV dishes are a little bit too small for Galaxy 19, but I use a Shaw Direct dish for Galaxy 19 for most of the time. Signal's a little bit lower, but it works. And for the most part, I'm able to, when I put it on just to maybe check out Victory Channel or Russia Today, it works. Paul Stringer says, is there a way to get low cast here in Canada? I'm not even sure what lowcast is. Maybe someone in the comments can answer that. Join Paul's group. Paul has an over-the-air television enthusiast antenna group. I don't know if you want to post it in this chat here, Paul, just what it is so people can find it. I'd encourage people to join that group. It's been not as active as it used to be. So I think there's other groups that kind of grew a little bit bigger.
Is forgiven. Okay. Lowcast is forgiving location in the U.S. Okay. Oh, it looks very similar to one I use on my phone called what was it, DTV antenna, and it shows you all the free the air channels for antennas.
Oh yes, lowcast. Okay. I remember someone showed me a neat trick on doing that, where it wasn't even using a VPN, but doing it through your Android, getting an add-on to your Android where you make your Android think that your geolocation changes your geolocation. You just say you're at whatever location on Google Maps, and you would make that work. so you can watch TV in the different markets. So there was a way of doing that with I don't know if it was a low cast, but one of those where you watch over the air TV through an app, through an Android app or whatever.
Okay. It looks a lot like Pluto, actually, now that I look at it. I'm looking at a Lowcast website here now.
There's another service called Stir.
Okay.
KE4EST. KE4EST. His website is eastsatellite.com. That'll be Michael Electronics. And he sells them. But if you want to help me out, click on my referral link. It gives me a small commission on eBay. That's how I make a little bit on the side doing this. And it doesn't charge you extra. It just puts a cookie on your browser and allows me to make a small commission.
Okay, that's pretty neat. Whoops, I don't want to play that right now. Afraid it'll be an echo. Oops. I was watching the Cleveland show on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah. I've canceled Disney, but I'm probably going to get we have Netflix, but I've really been wanting to try out YouTube Premium. And YouTube, the thing about being a video creator on YouTube is there's no incentive for YouTube creators to push people to get YouTube Premium, because we look at it, well, we make money off the ads, and yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those funny scenarios where video creators, I don't like calling myself the other word. I find it's a derogatory term, but video creators on the YouTube platform, because I'm on other platforms too. But anyway, I wanted to try YouTube Premium because my kids, that's what they watch. They don't know about linear TV as much. They know about going on the smart TV. We got a Roku smart TV. It's great. A Roku smart TV, and YouTube is the main app that they're on. We did have Disney Plus for a while, and then we decided to get just Netflix, and we'll probably eventually just get rid of Netflix too. Because I'm not even watching Netflix a whole lot either.
Yeah, I got YouTube Premium. I like it. I don't watch any of the original stuff, so I'll use it because ad blocker stopped working, at least for me. So I just use it, for that. I've had it for a couple of years. The only reason why I have it is because included in the YouTube Premium subscription is also YouTube Music, and I stopped downloading music a long time ago. So I use YouTube Music all the time now.
Oh yeah. Well, when I want to listen to a song, the video is there too, and you can usually find it. If it's a very obscure song, there's like a picture of a vinyl record playing the song, like really old and obscure,
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's what I use YouTube Premium for, mainly for YouTube Music. But of course, when I'm watching YouTube videos, there's no ads because that's included in the YouTube Premium.
Yeah. And the other one, I don't know if I mentioned it a minute ago or sorry, I said Stir TV, which is I don't know if I have a picture of that in here. I had a picture from my streaming. It's way back here. Let's make this into the shot. So yeah, there's Stir TV. I did a review on it mainly just because of Ring of Honor. I'm a big fan of Ring of Honor, but with Stir, you can get a bunch of channels. There's a Ring of Honor channel there 24/7, and it's like the Sinclair broadcasting stuff. Another thing, if you're out in the internet looking for where you can find the movies on a streaming service, is this Real Good program, or this Real Good website. You can find it for movies on Tubi or Crackle and places like that. I think Tubi, what I liked about Tubi was I didn't have to use a VPN for that. I think that was one, maybe you do now. I shot my big mouth off. And
Nope, Tubi, you can use it without a VPN in Canada. I use it all the time on my Roku.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Here's some screenshots of when I was doing some TV DXing for you DXer fans. So this is my HD home run thing here, running like it's just a screenshot. But I was able to pull in. Sometimes, some days I get like channels from far away. I get clear days, and so I was able to pull in Stadium, and I was all excited. I took a screenshot of this because I don't normally get it. So what it does is it plays the video in VLC, or use any player. I'm using Linux, so that works pretty fine there. So yeah, I was able to get Stadium. This is like early in the morning too. There's like a baseball game playing. WHEC. I don't normally get that one. That was coming in one morning. And then one morning it was like CH. I was getting all the channels from Toronto, and I never get channels from Toronto, but I aimed the antenna. The neighbor cut down some trees too. So maybe that's why that happened.
I love CHCH.
Yeah. I find like that's kind of the closest thing in Canada that we get to like MeTV.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish they were like carried as a sub channel in different areas. And also I was able to pick up global. So I'm in Kingston, so I was able to pretty much pick up Airy TV has 24/7 WWE channel plus lots more. That's cool. I didn't know about that. I'll have to look that up. Kevin, send me a link to that. Just to remind me to do that because I'll probably go to sleep right after this.
Well, to watch your local news, don't most of the local news websites broadcast their news on their website?
Yes, a lot of local news channels will have that. Also for C-band news, if you haven't checked out my video for SES to clear some C-band for 5G, so that kind of goes into what the buffer zone repack of C-band will be. I got a shorter condensed video of my setting up a satellite motor where I just kind of really focus on setting up the USALs, the Universal Satellite Automatic Training thing there. Also, I recommend this video, the setting up a satellite dish motor. This is actually something, even if you're not setting up a motor, it has a lot of good. This is basically the A to Z set up a satellite dish. Just, forget the motor part. There's chapters in there you can skip through. The Wish book didn't have satellite stuff, but there's a lot of cool tech items. I went through some of the Wish books in the video. Also, I got a video on the last analog channel. So there's a shot of my Sat Hero. And the Sat Hero, I wonder how I can make this overlay the way I want. There. So yeah, the Sat Hero, it's kind of fun around to play with. This is on 87 West. There's a reading low with that LMB, but I gotta fix that dish up a bit. Here's my settings in the OpenATV settings. And as I said, what I don't like about this is it doesn't say the signal quality in OpenATV with like, that'd be like the, what's that receiver? The Edison Mio and all that. So you do all this, and then you hope when you exit this and save it, you hope that you got it all set up right. Or you go in and you see your channels not working, you got to go back into the menu, find how to get back in the menu. So that's one thing I wish they would fix in OpenATV is have like an SNR meter in here. So these are my settings on different satellites for 99 and for other stuff. Yeah, and get ExpressVPN and check out my video on where I go through all the channels. There's a C-band dish. So this is Google Street View. This is when I went, didn't drive around. I just virtually went and looked at places near the equator to see what the houses look like and with the satellite dishes. And you see that, because you'll see satellite dishes. You know you're looking at the south end when you see the satellite dishes of a house. So there's like a C-band dish in, was this Peru or North Somalia?
That must be a bit of a pain. No, I guess they don't have snow by the equator, but if they did, that would be pretty pain, wouldn't it, up straight like that?
Yeah, and there's a lot of them there too. They have them all facing up, and the rains, they do get the heavy-duty rains, so.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like they're mostly mesh dishes, so it looks like it would just fall right through, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the complete opposite of the way satellite dishes look here. The way satellite dishes looks here, they practically look like they're pointing went down towards the ground. Satellite dishes look like here because we're so far east, or you know what I mean? They're not obviously pointing down to the ground, but they look like it from a certain angle where I am.
Dan Pete says, don't care for Windows 10 at all. And I just set up my wife. We got a new laptop for her. She had a laptop at Dell that lasted almost 10 years. And so anyway, we got a video coming up on that too, where for satellite. Yeah. These it's interesting in this part of the world where they're aimed. Okay, these are KU band. I think it's like a similar area. The street view is from 2013 here, as you can see here in the upper corner. So these are close to the equator, but because KU band is an offset dish, it's not pointing as high up as the prime focus C band dishes. But you can see that they're a lot higher than what we'd have here in Canada.
That's insane.
Yeah. And that's just like probably just parts of the world where you're at the equator. Now, if you're in Alaska or even Newfoundland, you got to get, sometimes you might even want to get the dish higher because you want to be able to see, to see the horizon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Go back to full screen here. There you go.
I like Windows 10, and I also really like Linux. But the only reason I use Windows 10 is because I play a lot of games on my computer, and of course, some of the games that I play, I know Linux is getting better. Don't get me wrong with games, but some of the games I play are not on Linux, and probably never will be on Linux. So you never know; they might be. But at the point that they are, I'll probably switch all my computers over to Linux.
Oh yes, I like Linux for emulator. You can play Sega Genesis on Linux and old Nintendo. Timecat says, an old timer here, ex-installer of Head and Tech tossed that DSR 6000. Everything on Shaw was converted to MPEG for last year. Well, I'm not looking for at Shaw, but there is a few channels that have MPEG 2. I think that thing does do MPEG 2. I'm not sure. See, what happens is it sends the stream to the player, and then the player will decode it, I believe. If it goes to VLC, it should work. Kurt's saying he's going to send a link. Yeah. You see the channels that are open on LinkSat. Yes, turn that off. Newfoundland
pointed down, probably due to the curvature. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because you're far enough east from the 107 west is what you're probably aiming at for that. So yeah, you could probably get the interesting thing though, if you're in Newfoundland, you're probably far enough east that it would be possible, however unlikely, but possible, you might be able to get some of the European KU band stuff.
I haven't tried. I might want to.
Yeah. Because you're far enough east. That'd be an interesting thing if you get the free view and the European stuff. And you don't, and the TV police looking for your TV license will be able to get you.
I'm gonna put on. Can I do this? I want to show. This is what my SAW satellite was up before.
Okay, I'm gonna cut to your feed here. Oh yeah. I've taken a bucket. I've gotten like a bucket and oh wait, I didn't get that to work. There you are. Okay, I'm in the shot here. So yeah, I found taking a bucket. If you don't want to buy a tripod, if you got a little cement and you got metal pull, stick that in a bucket, put some concrete in it, let it harden. You got like something to hold your satellite dish up. Yeah, the redneck way of doing it. But that's like, this is the red green way of doing it. You like got a duct tape you got your Shaw dish duct taped to, I don't know, some old furniture.
That's actually not duct tape. That's just a bag that I put over it because it was old was it plasterboard or that particle board? So I put that over it because it was raining that day, but it's actually attached with the mount down to it. But You can see what I mean. You can see how low down it's pointing. It looks like.
You still have it that way because you can take, I'm looking at it here, and you can take some electric tape and just hold, like, even if you don't have the thing, just take some electric tape for the cable and give it a little bit of a loop, especially for drip line.
I don't live there anymore.
Okay, yeah.
But I will show you something. I'm gonna turn off this right quick, and because I have some stuff in here I don't want to be on stream, but I'm going to show you
full screen. I'll go full screen, sir. Tell me when you're ready. I'll put it on full screen.
I've got pictures of my nephews and stuff. I don't think their parents will be too pleased if I put them on live. I got another picture here to show you of the Shaw setup. Just trying to find it here.
Yeah. So Dan Pete says, Hub Jeep says, I've been using Ubuntu for a long time. Last I've used Windows I used was a free student version of XP. I think that's my last time. Oh, excuse me. I should have a cough button. Last time I've used Windows XP is probably when, like 2006, I switched to Ubuntu, and I had dual boot for a while, just maybe to do video editing. But yeah, and then I switched to Linux Mint, and I haven't looked back. And then it's just, I wish that it's like free to air. All these things like shortwave radio, free to air, making coffee at home. These things are cheaper, save you money, and
just trying to find it here. I got so many pictures.
Yes, Hub Jeep. What you could do, what I do with ExpressVPN, if you use that, the nice thing about that is you have to activate it in the command line, and it's not that hard. It's just copy paste the activation key. And I think you type into the command line, activate ExpressVPN. It'll say enter your key, which you copy and paste from their browser when you go into your account, and it's up and working. And then I got it on like a browser plugin, so I just click on the browser plugin and tell it what city or where I want to say I'm located in the world. You can do that through the command line as well, but yeah, I'm a Linux user, but I don't care about the command line and making people think that I'm like a hacker. I just want to use it for freedom. I do multimedia with it, video production. I run my whole YouTube channel. Most of what I've done and I've uploaded over since 2017 has been from Kden Live or what's the program I used for a short time. I did a video on it and everything, and I have to look up my name on YouTube to search it out. Dan Pete says, I like Windows XP. Windows 7 was okay. And the reason why I like Linux Mint is it just feels like Windows XP. It has that Windows XP feel, except I put the because I used Ubuntu for a while, I put the bar at the top of the screen just to have like the menu drop down. I'm just doing it here, even though you don't see it. Just to have that Linux, not Windows feel. I don't want docky. I don't want it to look like a Mac. I hate that.
Now, I got a question. I don't know what it is. I got a feeling what it is, but I'm wondering if anyone else can answer it here. Let's shut it on. Turn on. It's on top of our local mall here. I wondered what is that satellite used for? Like, I have no idea. Or it used to be used for right here.
It doesn't look like it has the LMB holder. Oh no, maybe I do see. Okay, yeah. I see. It's like the skew is like really, like it's almost like it's angled, right?
Yeah.
This was the Village. So it looks to me like it could have been a KU band satellite, and it probably was used if it's a department store. A lot of department stores use that for music. So they would just have like
music. It's a mall.
Yeah, malls had those things for music, is from what I understand. Maybe somebody else might know in the comments, but I do know at one time that they were used. Walmart has satellite dishes too. They'll have like C-band satellite dishes. I don't know if it's for music or for. It's not for their TV department. I know that much.
Yeah, no, I thought it was for. This is what I'm thinking for credit transactions back on Galaxy 4.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that. Patrick's saying it's for radio.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking too. Is for radio, there's all these radio channels that these places would have and probably never use.
Yeah, right now they use Stingray. Every time you go into the, you can hear this
yeah.
channel is on Stingray, whatever.
Yeah, and they probably just stream it. Yeah, probably be cheaper and easier just to do, especially for audio. I mean, I've been streaming audio. I would listen to radio over the internet back in the 90s. Like, I was streaming before it was called streaming, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can't find the other Shaw stuff, but I was curious about that. Thanks though for the information. It's good to know for music.
Yeah, for music, and yeah, they're not as common now. Oh, you went away, so that's why I went to the Brady Bunch scene. I'll be using this camera tomorrow morning for my Zoom meeting. Music and radio. Yeah.
Interesting. I know when what was it? Sears, I think, was in that, because Sears was in there years ago, and they had satellite to show their TVs, but it was Shaw direct. You could clearly tell it was Shaw direct because when they brought up the guide or whatever. So that's what maybe I had to put.
Danny Shortwave and Radio says that I believe it was used for credit transactions, and it could have been. I wonder if it's like to download data, because I'm not sure if it would upload data. I do know that like one of the early satellite internets was you would dial in to upload, but you would download through satellite. I don't even know if there's a service like that going around anymore, but
yeah, it would be Direct PC.
Direct?
That would be Direct PC. That's the company you were talking about back in the 90s for satellite.
Oh, okay. It was Direct, yeah, but I always looked at Direct TV and could never find, like, it might have been a different company, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know, of course, they don't use dial-up for download or for uploading now. But what does, for example, what would ExplorerNet use for Royal Internet for uploading and downloading?
Well, ExplorerNet and HEVC do use. It does have a transmitter. The LMB has a warning on it not to be too close to it. But yeah, the LMB was like a little bit different on, because I did have an old ExplorerNet dish, and I just scrapped it because I couldn't find the right size to either. So yeah,
I don't know. You probably wouldn't be able to get much on an ExplorerNet dish because don't that use Ka band?
Ka band, and it's even harder to lock the signal than Ku band, apparently. But there's no TV channel. There's hardly any. There's none that I know of on Ka band. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, which there could be one out there. I'm not saying there isn't, but
yeah, the only Ka band stuff I see on Landsat is for internet providers, like Blue something.
Yeah, they must be using it because the satellites are being used, but I don't know what's like all that spectrum for Ku band, and they're not even. There's no channels there. There's no data there or nothing.
Wild Blue, thank you.
Wild Blue, yeah.
I guess how DirecTV works is because with DirecTV you don't need like for ordering pay-per-view you don't need as far as I know you don't need a landline or internet hooked up to it. It just you can order pay-per-view directly through the box without doing that. So I guess DirecTV has a transmitter on it as well, as far as I know.
DirecTV? I don't know. North Coaster says he's tried to modify an ExplorerNet dish, too difficult to find the focal point. I do know people, they told me that they use the other ExplorerNet dish. In Canada, it's ExplorerNet, but I think they still use the same satellites that HughesNet uses. I was going to have Michael on this show, and I invited him on, but he told me he can't do it because that's what he uses for internet. He has HughesNet, and the latency for doing live chats is not very good for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But hopefully he will be getting Starlink, and that will be and he'll have that quick, like basically like how we're talking, like, you know, we're, I don't know, it's thousands of miles. Like Newfoundland's pretty far.
Nope. I got it. I don't have the money for it, unfortunately, but they actually got to me saying, "Hey, you can get the beta for your address if you want." I'm like, "Sorry, I don't have the $600 right now because I signed up for news from it, so it is available here somehow."
Oh yeah. Well, see, I looked up in the sky one night, but it's hard to tell if it's a Starlink satellite or the International Space Station. But you see, like, you know, the things orbiting above Earth, and they look like airplanes really high in the sky. There's an app on your phone that you can, several apps that you can get for your phone to track like moving space near Earth space objects. Track the space station and things like that. You hold your phone up to the sky, and it'll show you when it's gonna, what direction it's going to move over your sky at what time and all and things like that. So it's I've seen Starlink, and there's like this train of satellites, and they just recently launched more Starlink satellites. So you might see that satellite train flying around the Earth. All these little satellites, you know, you think it's Santa Claus or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I probably don't even. I don't know if it's worth it modifying a ExplorerNet dish for KU. I don't know if that. It seems because satellites are so cheap now, you might as well just buy one. You know.
I like it's hard for me to say. Like, I want to. If you want to do it, go ahead and give it a try. I would recommend buying a dish, but some people don't want to modify a KU band satellite dish. I'm going to turn on Kurt here if he wants to chime in here and talk to us. And I think Brandon left. I probably should leave soon too. I didn't think I'd do like this long of a stream. I thought I'd do an hour. I always think I'm going to do an hour, and it goes longer than that.
Yeah, same thing happened last time I joined in.
Yeah. Well, if someone like people will start talking, like I usually want to do my presentation because I figure people click on the video and the replay, and they'll watch like the first 10 minutes, and that's when everyone leaves at that point, right? But with live streams, it's like if you talk like the shortwave one, he gets 800 people viewing, but it takes him a while to get all the viewers to join him.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there's an interesting one from Dan. Says, I see them at my window on a clear night. I can see satellites with my eyes. Yeah, and some of them are so close that you can see them. Even rocket parts. I remember I was talking with a friend who's one of the top astronomers in Canada. Runs a website called Caster. And he tracks satellites and things like that. So I was showing him my app on the phone. He doesn't use smartphones, and he said, yeah, he knew that was a Russian rocket part when we saw this object flying above us. Because people think about UFOs, and then there's us who think, you know, what is the logical and rational explanation for something, and Raymond says, thanks for doing the stream. Oh, it's my pleasure.
I see that you're using Restream. Would I recommend it to you?
Yeah. I had headaches with it at first, though.
What kind of headaches?
There was a few things that I like the technology. There's things I like about it. And there was things that see, I'm not using OBS. So it's simply my webcam and doing all the production through the interface.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't like about it, well, first off, I put the link for my live stream on my Facebook page and all my social media, and then because I used OBS and not this webcam, like the direct, it created a different live stream. So I scheduled it and went live, and it was like everyone went to the wrong link, and so that there was headaches with it that I didn't like, but I figured they simplify things I guess for people who are not doing the production end of things, they can just, jump on here, and it's not as complicated as using OBS. It's just simple. Like I can take calls, which I really like. By the way, I don't know if anyone wants to call in. I'm going to wrap it up soon, but here's the link if you want to join in with video or audio. You don't have to come in with your video on. I think people have just done their audio, which I'm fine with. I had to clean up this room, and this room looks messy, but I cleaned it up.
Now you should see my room. That's why I don't have my camera on.
Yeah.
So I'm currently in on my desktop, right? Because my fiance is using my laptop in the living room.
Patrick says, "I like your $4 headset." Yep, from the dollar store. It's comfortable right now. The thing is with this cheap stuff here, that whatever the foam is, I found these dollar store ones after a couple of years, they're just like flat and hard. Like they're nice and soft right now, but after a while, they start falling apart. And plus, I'll take it off and I have all this the headphone plastic sticking to my ear.
Yeah, I don't. I used to use dollar store headphones all the time, but I ended up saying, "Oh, I'm spending, every couple months or every couple years, buying new ones." So
see, my problem is I sleep with these on. I listen to satellite radio. I listen to the talk radio on Galaxy 19. So I'm like sleeping with these things on and falling asleep to Pastor Gene Scott or LRN radio or something like that. And then I've turned and broken a lot of these. So I figure I don't want to spend a lot of money on these things because of that, because I wreck these because I sleep with my wife doesn't like radio on in the background. Oh, I wanted to answer this question from Dan. What happened to the older satellites like back in the 80s? And apparently, here's the story I hear, and it might not be the case for every satellite, is there's a orbit graveyard, the satellite graveyard, where they push the satellites out into the graveyard. So they'll push them out into space, further out of the geostationary orbit, and they're still up there because geostationary is really high up. It's not like low Earth orbit satellites. So a lot of them, they're like, I don't know, quarter way of the moon. I don't know if that's an accurate statement, but they're pretty high up. And so they push them out, and some of them actually go just way out of Earth's orbit and go like way out in the solar system, just floating out there. Some of them, that's one thing that was explained to me. I don't know if that's an accurate.
Based on the research that I've done in the past, yes, that is what happens. They put them up in a graveyard.
The graveyard orbit, yeah. And
graveyard orbit, or they just let them burn up in our atmosphere. That's not.
Yeah, they send them back to Earth, and they probably would burn up in the atmosphere, or just send them to the moon or whatever. They'll crash in the moon.
My one of my friends, he lives in the States. His family, I don't know what company it was, but they have a big C-band dish up there that was aimed to Galaxy 4 back in the 80s, or Galaxy 1. The satellite that had HBO on it, the first Galaxy 1, wasn't it?
I don't even remember that. I don't have the history of that from that far back. A lot of people were in at that time, and then they got away from it. So yeah,
they're in it. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because he's interested in getting in free to air. He's wondering if he will need to buy a new satellite or just use that one.
Just use if it's the dish. But the thing is, with the dish will work, but the actuator and the LMB may need to be changed. But the actuator, the LMB, and the dish mover are all probably $300 to get it back up. Those back up and going. Well, the receiver too. So probably under $400 to get it back up and going.
He mentioned it to me because his father really likes Me TV, and they're way out in the boondocks. They can't even get.
If you just want Me TV, if you can get the actuator to move, a lot of the actuators get seized if they sit around for a long time and don't get used with the weather and all that. But if you can get the actuator to 101 West, sometimes you can even. I've seen some actuators, they take them apart, take a ratchet, and use that to move the dish. They move it manually. Hey, Patrick's joining us here. I'm going to turn you on, okay, Patrick?
I mentioned that to him because I said, sure, don't you get Me TV on over the air? And they're like, not here. We don't get anything on over the air here.
How do I get that?
On antennas.
Really? Where are they located? There you are, Patrick. You're on there now.
Where are they located? They are where they're located?
Yeah.
They are in Kentucky, way up in the boondocks.
Okay.
Way
Yeah.
up, like,
So
way up
yeah,
there.
in a lot of areas in the States, we got 3 Canadians calling in. It tends to be a lot of Canadians because Canadians are oppressed with our electronic Berlin Wall where we can't get the content we want. We have to go through VPNs, and back in the day, we had to use big satellite dishes to get HBO or content that we couldn't get here in Canada. To get USA Network or TNT.
In my case, to get anything but French, you you need satellite.
Yeah. So we got Patrick on here from the land of Quebec.
Way north. Way north.
Yeah. Way north. Somebody
like you
shared a
said
meme.
before.
I shared it. It showed like asphalt on a road. I'm gonna pull up here. How do I get this to go away?
I told you I like this. Those headsets. Check this out. The same thing.
Where is it on Facebook? Facebook. And someone probably liked it because it's funny.
So this time we are also recorded.
We're live. We're live on the it's gonna go on the replay.
On the replay. Okay.
Yeah. The replay takes I should have announced that. So the replay I found with YouTube takes a day or two, but then once it's up, it's it takes like a day, so it's a day before it's monetized. So I gotta show this to Patrick.
That's my first. Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that meme there. Oh, it's not lined up there.
Old news here.
Yeah,
that's old news.
That's probably an old meme. I'm just seeing that now. Yeah, there's Ontario. There's Quebec. It's just the road. It's all crumbled. And although I'm in Kingston, and the roads here are awful. They're potholes and stuff because we're a limestone, right? And I think that's the reason for it. Is every winter the ground swells and our roads look like Quebec. You know, it's just. But
they always told that.
Yeah, and then
I'm not sure about it.
Yeah,
I don't believe them when they say that it's because we have a winter that is hotter than everyone else. That's not quite true. It's just cheaper.
There's probably a factor of cheapness. Yeah, Kevin sent me the link to the Air TV. Thanks a lot with WWE. So yeah, there's my computer running there. This is like my analytics here in the background for Linux Mint. And so here I am streaming, and I'm not even, tanking my RAM. I got about 16 gigabytes of RAM. 15.6 is what it says here. And this is like my processor's in an old i7, not a brand new one. Like this is a refurbished laptop. I don't get anything new. This is what I use to edit videos with.
Would you say the specs were again?
This computer, I don't know the board, but it must be an Intel processor. It's an i7, so it's Intel. And it's like it must have been like a custom built by like a computer enthusiast that was selling them on Marketplace. I bought it for $400. It's a tower. It doesn't have it was the cheapest one that he had too. He was just trying, at first I was going to buy like the $600 one, which was like, had some more bells and whistles, but I told him, I just want to use video editing. I want to run Linux. You think that's good enough? And actually he was looking back in retrospect, this is what I needed. I didn't need, because I'm not into gaming.
See, that's what I like that. 3 gigabytes of RAM and you're streaming from that computer. That's insane. Yep. That's what I like about Linux.
Yeah. Yeah. 16. Streaming, and it's sending the data here. So the upload for this stream, it looks like it's sending. Looks like it's low here.
Check out how much RAM is currently being used on my computer, and I'm just running your chat right now.
Oh, really? Yeah.
7.3 gigabytes. That's insane, and you're only using 3 gigs.
I don't have Facebook running now. Like I found Facebook, they're spying on me or something, right? My RAM just goes like crazy, especially on my laptop here. And my laptop's freezing up. My laptop's not old either. My laptop is about 8 gigs of RAM, and it's an i5. Mm-hmm. And it has like 8 cores. Like when I open up this thing, I see like 8 cores. I don't know a whole lot of computer stuff, but
That's what I really like about Linux. It uses so little RAM with everything you're doing on it. That's insane.
I mean, it will fill up at times. Like if I have the video editor and it has a bunch of videos loaded up on standby, it will use up the RAM. Like I've seen, the RAM get used up with the video editing. Plus, with this computer, I'm editing videos and rendering, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm watching YouTube videos and doing all sorts of stuff. So,
wow.
I will tell you that that's nothing compared to me. My computer is from the 2009, and I still use it for editing with it. So I'm using Avid, and I have no trouble with it. It depends on the kind of tools you use, the kind of computer, the kind of software you're using. In fact, it's
like I use Kden Live, which is I think it's on all platforms, but it's like notorious for Windows, and it's older. I use an older version. I don't use the latest version because there's a version I like. I stick with it, and it does what I need to do.
It's a good thing you stick with it. So it won't take much RAM and much power, computing power, if it's still an old software somehow.
But with YouTube, it's I'm gonna turn off my screen. Oh yeah, it's prioritizing my. Here, I gotta move my thing here. Boop, close that down. There we go. We'll go into the whole with the chats there. So I can switch this around. Okay, cool. There we go. We can now have all three of us there.
Wow, I'm okay. By the way, it's my first time on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you're a YouTube star. Yeah, Patrick, the YouTube star from Quebec. You know what? But if you should had videos showing your dish parts, I'd watch that.
Oh, you saw it last time. Okay.
And there's the other Canadian, North Coaster. He's like making a bunch of free to air videos. So if at this rate, I think people will know. There'll be a lot more people knowing about free to air in the next year or so.
Oh yeah, I think I came across him a little while ago.
Yeah, subscribe to him. He's got some good content.
Yeah.
Oh.
He jumped right on the Orby TV stuff because the Orby TV went out of business, and it's like us free to air enthusiasts. Okay, we can tell people about free to air.
Still, guys, we don't know what happened to Orby TV. In fact, they went out of business. But is there any reason? Is there any justification? Anything?
I don't know. I've heard like conspiracy theories. But they're so tight-lipped, and they were always not very good for public relations. They never, there wasn't a whole lot of they were very transparent, in my opinion. Like I had people on I think it was on Satellite Guys or on Rick's Wild Feed say the only people who ever talked about Orby TV is like one article and the Satellite Nerd. That was it. Like that's pretty bad. Like my video where I did talk about Orby TV, I think I got like close to 200,000 views, which is like one of my top videos that I put out there.
Okay.
So
if you want another 2,000, you should
200,000. I should
200. You should talk about Zoom. I don't know if you remember about Zoom.
Zoom,
yes. You don't remember about this?
Nope.
Same case, same thing, same model. The same thing happened, and they were using. I think it was using the old receiver from Shaw Direct, the gray DSR 505, something like this, and they were at the start of 2000. They were the guys who were able to provide HD television, only HD.
Oh, yes.
You remember? They went out.
I heard of that. Yeah.
I still have those kind of receiver from Shaw, but they didn't have any receiver that was from Voom. But the refurbished receiver from Shaw Direct at that time were coming from Zoom. In fact, so they went out of business the same way as Orby. So they have some kind of business model that were looking like Orby, that in the fact that we're only doing HD on the cheap, but only HD, some 30 HD channel at that time. because at that time HD was a thing.
I heard of that, but they must not last too long either. It was like, I think it was like a year or so before I got into free to air, or like it was a few years before that when HD was starting in the early 2000s, and I heard of that. I'm going to do some research on that. That's a good idea for a video. It's like the rise and fall of Zoom, because they were. But
that's a subject in itself.
Yeah, like but some would say Orby TV could have been successful if they would have been out 10 years ago, because streaming has really taken over for a lot of people. And but there is that niche market for people who live in rural areas that can't get fast, reliable internet. But now that time is going to be ending, because like they're going to get Starlink. But then I've heard people say, I don't want to pay $600 for the equipment and then $100 a month. Well, you live in the country, so I think, and there's a lot of people who have what's the HEVC, and I think HEVC is not much better. So, well, Starlink is much better than HEVC. It's gonna
100%. It's
gonna put HEVC out of business,
and ExploreNet.
Yeah, well, ExploreNet is it's a HEVC here in Canada.
Well, we also got to remember TV hasn't been profitable in like 20 years, so if not longer. So that's probably another reason why they lost business.
That's probably also the reason why Dish Network want to sell their use of their frequency as to the 5G stuff. They seem to talk about the 12 gigahertz band.
Yeah, 12 gigahertz. You're right. Yeah,
is it liquidation somehow or what?
It could be, but the thing is, they'll still be they'll still need the some of that spectrum. So I don't know, but I guess the spectrum they would be selling is the spectrum that they own. Dish Network owns, because the Dish Network owns a lot of that spectrum. Oh, so and that's the higher circular KU band spectrum. So, but I don't think DirecTV it doesn't look good for DirecTV, right? I don't know. Like a lot of people are saying, they don't think they'll be around, and like they might be the next to fall. Dish Network might be able to go a few more years, having a monopoly, being the only one, kind of like what Sirius FM. There's like XFM, then there was Sirius, and then they kind of merged. So will Dish Network buy? Because AT&T wants to sell DirecTV. Will Dish Network end up buying them, and then it'll just be one? But that's also like, it's almost like an it's a monopoly, right? And it's not. It's like Microsoft having a monopoly, and other big corporates.
So Orby is the Linux. So Orby it was like Linux, no change on the business. They won't be able to make any business now. Yes. Okay. I thought it was who's talking with us again?
Trevor.
Trevor.
Yeah.
I thought I was hearing you talking.
HubJeep. I use Kden Live and for Linux, and what else do I use? Olive. There's Olive for Linux, but I like Kden Live. That's what I like.
I prefer a real Unix Mac OS X.
Well, it's not really even real Unix. It's a proprietary.
Yes, it's a real Unix.
It's a proprietary.
It has a license for. It has a license from Unix to call it a Unix box. It's a real Unix somehow.
Yeah. Well, that's why Mac OS X, why it ends in X, is all Unix-based stuff has. It's like a tradition of it ending with the word X. So it's not like it's Mac operating system X. It's because it's. Unix based, so that's why there's Leopard and all these different versions of Mac OS. I still won't buy one though. I mean, maybe if someone gave me one, like one of these diehard Apple fans, just to have one to mess with, but I don't think I would spend $2,000. Like, knowing what I know now, I built all this video editing setup for $400 for the computer. These monitors didn't cost me anything because I inherited them, and keyboard, but things like that.
I don't think it's based on the Linux kernel. It's based on the Unix kernel, which is technically
yes,
different.
it is. It is. It's based on the Unix, but the interface, the UI, is based on WSD or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, the kernel will be Unix, and then the I'm not an expert on this at all, but it's like Linux. Linux is not necessarily the operating system; it's just the kernel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the operating system is like the distribution I use is Linux Mint, so it's actually Ubuntu using GNOME as the graphical user interface part and all this. There's probably Linux people online that know this a lot better than me. But,
I'm much a video editor than a Unix specialist, but computer history is quite interesting. The little history of computers.
History computer. The history that they always forget to talk about is the impact that Commodore and Atari had on the computer. You know, you get all this history revisionist stuff where it's all Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Well, there was there was Commodore, there was Atari, and there's a lot of history there. You can find it on YouTube. Lots of people have made really good documentaries on this.
Did Microsoft had an history with Commodore 64 too? Because it has one with the operating system of the disk of my old TRS 80 color computer 3. I don't know if you remember.
Well, the history, yes.
The OS at the start says Microsoft at first when you boot up those computers because of the disk.
Yeah, well, with Bill Gates himself actually worked on Microsoft Basic, which became in the late 70s, early 80s, was like on everything. And I think Jack Tramiel outsmarted Bill Gates by buying Basic and just paying licenses, just buying it outright. And then that was on for Commodore. So he just used that over and over again for the PET. So some of the PET technology was on the VIC-20 64. I actually know a guy here in Kingston that makes a modern day operating system for the Commodore 64, like a point and click graphical user interface. And it's all on the Commodore 64. Like, it's not GOS. It's like this. He just made his own operating system from the ground up. It's just kind of cool to see. Well, it does. He's executed videos, so he has like the Star Wars, Luke, I'm your father scene mixed in. It's black and white, but he has it playing on a Commodore 64. Like wild stuff that you can. The people that backward compatibility and stuff. Even my Atari XE computer, I have like little video GIF things that it can play. No audio or anything, but it can do like little video GIFs and things like that. The Terminator turning into it, like going into the helicopter, turning in things like that can play on a old 8-bit computer.
8-bit memories, your own memories of the 8-bit days of the computer.
8-bit days, yeah. See, well, the thing is, I'm in my 40s, but like back in the 90s, I had the computers that were 10 years old at that time. So in the 90s, I kind of had, and a lot of people had that. Like a lot of people that were just getting computers in the 90s, they would have like a Commodore 64 computer, and that's how I connected to BBSs back in those days. Did chat rooms and things like that on a Commodore 64 computer.
You did that with those old 8-bit computers?
Yeah. I had like Kmart, which was still here in Canada for a while, had the you could buy Commodore parts. They sold Amigas. I should have just been smart and bought an Amiga, knowing what an Amiga costs now. If I had an Amiga 12,000, and I could just resell it and pay my mortgage off, pay a good chunk of my mortgage off with it. Like, they're crazy expensive. But Kmart had like cartridges, discs, games. Even in the 90s, they had everything at Kmart, and Kmart was big on Commodore stuff. So I grabbed I grabbed a modem for my Commodore 64. It was secondhand, but they still had old stock there, right? And that's how I connected to Freenet. So you're Canadian, so I don't know if you've used National Capital Freenet out of Ottawa or any of those, but those were like BBSs, but it were BBSs that were the first to connect to Usenet and to the World Wide Web.
Back in the day, those servers were all in long distance call.
I was fortunate. I lived in Carleton Place, but then it's close enough to Ottawa. and so I can get the Ottawa Freenet with it.
From where I'm at, from where I am, all the service we can have on BBS were the service coming from hackers and stuff like guys like me were doing their own BBS system, so friends and stuff, but not really. Those BBS were not available without making long distance call.
Yeah,
At least in Montreal, there was some commercial one in Montreal, I think, but I don't remember quite enough for that.
yeah, there was like commercial cable internet provider in the 80s that hooked through the cable, like experimental networks. I wouldn't say it was internet, but there was networks that would connect through. They had that in Ottawa. If you ever go, I think it's open again at the Museum of Science and Technology in Ottawa. They have like lots of really cool old tech there. Like they have the steam engine trains and things like that.
That's cool.
That's cool. Really cool. We don't have those kind of cool things here. Where's my power pack? I'm gonna lose you.
Greg Mancave says Amiga 500. That's they're worth money now too. They're crazy. Dreamcast, you don't get much money for them, but an Amiga. I have my Dreamcast too, and it's like I just keep it around because, well, you can burn CDs and put the games on them. Like that's what killed the Dreamcast.
Not all versions. There's actually some versions in the last release before they shut down that actually blocked that. I think the version 2 is the one that they blocked.
Oh yeah,
which is unfortunately the Dreamcast I have, so I need to buy the games.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you can still connect to BBSs today. You need Telnet or SSH client. Still have direct dial numbers too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like a lot of BBSs just went to the internet. But what if the internet goes down, right? And we got to go back, or like, the government decides we're going to oppress everyone and not let them have free speech because everyone's a terrorist or whatever, I
actually just because one of my weird things I like doing is connecting to BBSs over dial-up. I do that on a regular basis, and I'm actually I actually have a lot of fun within the BBSs.
Oh yeah,
it's one of my hobbies, if you will.
Yeah.
The real
back
problem
in the 80s, they had a hidden cable radio, and that it wasn't necessarily hidden. This guy's posting about cable radio. So, you used to be able to hook your cable up to your radio and get like a bunch of radio stations on cable.
I did.
I don't even know if they promote that. Yeah, I used to do that. I used to listen to the college radio because they had like a very low power transmitter, but they would rebroadcast it on cable. And I talked to Tom Green on the Midnight Caller on CHUO on Friday nights and things like that.
Back in that time, my TV was not in stereo, so the French equivalent of movie network.
The movie channel was on stereo. You had to hook your cable up to your stereo, tune it to the frequency that had the movie channel, and you would get it in stereo.
Exactly, but I did worse. I hooked it to my Walkman.
Oh yeah, well there you got your headphones on. You got surround sound with your dollar store headphones. And
exactly.
Speaking of that, what? Sorry.
Yes. No. Yes.
Sorry.
Come on. No, go on.
It was related to that. Like you said, you could hook up your cables here. At least where I am, if I take my hot cable line that's actually active, but there's no analog channels anymore, and everything is digital. I can get a bunch of radio channels just with the ATSC tuner in my TV. Just so I hook up the cable to it. Yeah.
Which provider are you using?
I'm using Rogers.
Rogers. We can't do that with Videotron, unfortunately. They block everything. They have a I don't know what's the name, what kind of frequency squeezer. They block bands of frequency, so you can have anything beyond the frequency they use for internet. They're quite wise on this. And no television, nothing at all.
Oh yeah.
There is every once in a while, which is what I find quite weird. Our local access channel 10 here, Rogers TV. If I hook up the cable directly to my TV, I can still get that local access channel.
I can do that here too. Yeah.
No, that's digital.
No,
That's
digital. It scans in as a QAM digital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rogers. I've done that to my parents' TV because they have Rogers out where they're at, and you can usually scan them. And usually, what they will have in the clear is the cable access channel, which is kind of like almost my reason why I wanted cable. I wanted to see. I'm into politics, so I wanted to see the local town council meetings and stuff like that. I'm not even following my local politics now, but if I wanted to, I could do that. They have it all on YouTube now, anyway, and all the meetings are like on Zoom. So,
Yeah. And also another thing that comes in, which is hilarious, the channel guide comes in still is in the clear, like all the
the guide, yes, like
Yeah,
channel
channel
4 or whatever it would be.
channel 7 here, I believe. Now they don't sell the legacy system anymore, but people that already has the legacy system, they will still be able to use it. And,
Yeah, they shut down all the analog. So for a while, they would put like these little filters, like with your cable filters. That's the old way of doing it. Now people are smarting up to this, so they would go up into their cable box in the apartment buildings and stuff like that, and just disconnect the filter. It was just like a little piece of cable that filtered out the channels. So they decided it was like a smarter on their part just to make everything digital, and then you have to have a proprietary receiver, just like satellite.
But here now, the old digital system.
Somebody's printing something with their Commodore 64 printer.
The way it is here in the old digital system, which is the new digital system, because now they have Ignite IPTV. Rogers does, so they're calling the digital system legacy. That you need the old fashioned digital cable. They're calling that legacy.
Oh, really?
So you can't get that anymore. The only thing you can get from them is their Ignite IPTV. Oh. But people that have the legacy digital system, they still use it up at least for another couple years, and then have a choice but to switch over to Ignite.
Wow. Yeah, like I remember when I had internet and I was able to get a few channels because I would hook up the cable to the TV without having cable. And so there was for a while I was able to get like all the local channels. Like it was like having basic cable for free with the internet. Like it wouldn't be all the channels, but it would be like standard definition, so they didn't care. And it was snowy because it was like they had a filter on, so the filter kind of made some of the channels snowier, like TLC, for example. Would be like a snorier channel, but then they switched everything to digital and it doesn't work. So now they're going all streaming. Is that what you're saying, or wait?
Not streaming per se. You still got to get an IPTV box from Rogers, but the old system that you actually need to take the cable and hook it up to the cable box. You know what I mean? Like the digital cable box. They're ditching that now. At least Rogers is.
Oh yeah. Well, what they should have is like a cable card where they can. I thought they did this in the States where you can get like a cable card for your TV or whatever, so you don't have to go through a box. Like that would be the smart way of doing that. Where you pay for the cable card, put it in your TV, scan in your channels, and you get your channels without having to go through a third box and all that. But now I guess with smart TVs, they fixed that because it will find the source. A lot of smart TVs will, like they'll. So if you have your cable box on, it will find where the HDMI port is that's going to your cable box. Because like if everything else is not on, it will go to whatever's on. Satellite receiver is the same way with that.
I'm not sure the Rogers Ignite system. Have you ever heard of Comcast Xfinity X1? That system?
No.
It's basically. It's cable, but it's all IPTV based now. There's no it goes over your internet. That's what Ignite is now.
Oh yeah, and Bell's doing that too. They're doing like a fiber internet, and then basically their cable box type thing works the same way.
Many providers do that in the world. Orange and France do that. Here, there's many. Who's doing that in Canada? Do you know?
Rogers.
Rogers
has their Rogers Ignite system, and Bell Fiber is IPTV based. Yeah.
And another thing too is they're able to get more channels because they're probably using H.265, where the old cable boxes probably at least were MPEG-4, and they could fit. That's how they're able to fit 200, 300, 400 channels on the cable line. Well, coaxial cable line, but now fiber optic, you can,
So that's what's happening now.
But with
So
internet,
now, the digital system we have is now considered legacy. The you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Because they shut down analog back here, at least in 2012, analog cable. They shut it down. And then they had completely shut down analog cable in 2012. And then they had the regular digital system, but the regular digital cable system, and now, which still used cable frequencies, but now they got IPTV based now.
Their receiver on the cable are IPTV based.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
They don't want to use too much bandwidth.
Well, they want all that bandwidth for the internet. Like
exactly,
they're giving everyone unlimited internet, and that's probably where their bread and butter is, off the unlimited internet.
Oh yeah.
But everyone's like saying, "Well, free to air is no good," but your internet service provider is going to throttle down your internet. They're going to say you're unlimited, but they're going to throttle it down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like having the backups of over the air and free to air. And it also, if you're getting it through a cable line, like in my area, tree knocks down the cable, you're going to be out of internet for a little while. Just good to have backup.
But the real question here is the throttling down, and is it impacting the ping? Because if it's not, that's not so bad. Because the main problem for most of people is just to say, my web page is too slow. If it's slow, it's not because of the bandwidth, it's because of the ping.
Yeah, it's the ping. Yeah. Well, for the video, it's like if everyone, they have to have 4K because I'm entitled to 4K, right? Everyone's like that.
Okay.
I'm watching 4K now. I'm entitled to 4K, even though I'm watching it on my cell phone. I'm entitled.
I want 4K.
Yeah.
You can even see 4K, but you want it.
If that's my biggest downfall here on YouTube, is I'm not uploading in 4K because I don't have a 4K camera. I can upconvert everything and upload it, and I guess YouTube would see it as 4K, but I don't get the views that.
There's really no point because I mean the freaking bandwidth is too, or not the bandwidth, the bit rate is too low on YouTube for 4K. It's too low. There's no point of
But people 4K. See 4K, they'll click on it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I mean, I think the maximum that YouTube supports is like 10 megabits or something like that, isn't it? Bit rate, something like that.
Oh, I don't know. It's like they compress it. Like I upload my files, and even the maximum download is nowhere near as large as what I upload. I just want to upload at good quality, and then they compress that down with their billion-dollar software and computer servers that they have to do that. So it's like, okay, they handle that.
Yeah, there's no point really. I mean, you can get a very nice 1080p image if you upload it in a good bit rate. If you use a good bit rate, you can get a good 1080p image. So
yes, that's right. Because you know the resolution in cinema, 2K.
Yeah, 2K.
Yeah, and they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell these 8K TVs.
4K television with poor color is just as bad as HD TV, in fact, because the real problem here is the quality of your display and the content to match with it. The resolution, you can go beyond 2K, but it doesn't matter. Even for the cinemas we don't use anymore because of COVID. Oh, sorry, I said that it's not stream friendly, but I can say that for those cinema most of cinemas are 2K, and what they call IMAX are not really IMAX, but just about 2K, maybe 4K. But the
IMAX is high quality. Yeah,
it's high quality, but it's nothing to compare with the old analog film IMAX we had in Montreal. Those were equivalent to maybe 8K at the time, so. It was a thing for resolution, but what we don't need that much resolution. We need quality. just quality.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
we don't
Like,
have it. We don't have it.
I found on satellite there's 720p channels. They're 60 frames per second, and they look better than some of the 1080p channels. I don't
That's
know.
because the bit rate's high. It's all about the bit rate.
It's all about
the
the
resolution.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when I watch wrestling on 55 West, my PVR can't keep up with that a lot of the time. I have to have a good hard drive to record it because, and Kurtz makes a point here. 125 PBS looks great because it is a very high bit rate KU band 1080p video. Probably a lot better quality than what you would get on streaming. That's for sure.
Yep, definitely. Now, I'm sure at some point in the future that, I mean, no matter that 4K is going to look very good at some point once the bitrate gets higher for most of these providers. I think it will look good at one point, but
Color
not right
bandwidth.
now.
Yeah, but the bandwidth, like for the broadcaster, whoever's streaming that stuff, they're not going to want. They'll get killed with 4K. The servers, like the to upload that, that would kill them. So, be interesting to see what happens there.
I got a question. Do you know how Netflix works? Do you know how Netflix works?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people think there's this big data center that all the for Netflix that all the footage is on a one central server. That's not the case. There's actually servers basically in your central office for your ISP for Netflix.
Yes, but those servers are just serving popular files. So if you need something that no one watch, it's gonna be you're gonna have a delay for before having it, but it won't matter much for you. But it will matter for the Netflix because it won't be less cheap to serve this to you. Because the ISP having those server and their house, that's a way to use less bandwidth for Netflix itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem and the matters is on them. For you, it doesn't change much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, both these computer monitors are technically they're 720p resolution. Like you can't get much higher. These are old TVs. What I'm using for computer monitors. This this laptop screen actually is 1080p in resolution, but I don't even notice the difference between 720p and 1080p. Like I if I'm watching on my 4K TV, as long as the bit rate's good, I can't tell. Now I can tell channels that are very low bit rate, and when you watch over-the-air TV, unfortunately, my antenna TV rebroadcast is very low bit rate because they're fitting. I'll show you my HD home run right here. HD home run, and I'll put it on antenna TV. So I'll just cut.
What is the best HD home run box to buy, by the way, for
For Canadian TV, I like the Extend because Canadian TV doesn't have sub channels. So the Extend compresses it to the H.264.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot smaller. So when I had the standard HD home run, or this the HD home run that didn't compress the files, it was really lousy quality.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it getting an HD home run, but then I'm thinking, is there really a point? Because we literally got two channels here over the air.
Yeah.
So CBC and NTV.
Yeah.
So
where's my no, it's not. Where's my screen here? There it is.
I took a break from video.
There we go. So here's my HD home run, and this is WNBC. So I'll go to antenna TV here. I'll just close down the. So this is antenna TV, and the bit rate. I think I'm not sure if it's compressing it or not, but if you can see it here, it's 2 point or 3 point bouncing around, but the 3 megabits per second of a channel, and that's not the greatest. Yeah, it's awful low. This is over-the-air broadcast. I don't even think this one I might be using the compressor, so it might not be it might be bringing this the signal down. And then you can see the quality is like you see pixelation around them. Yeah.
Don't look that good at all.
I got to kind of stand far away from the screen so I don't see the pixelation so bad. This is channel 24. Scans in as 45.2, which is antenna TV. Well, it's NBC, and it has all these channels. You can see all the channels in the mux. So it has NBC, antenna, grit, bounce, court TV, QVC, and HSN. The nice thing with this is with the HD home run, it runs in my browser, but you can run it in your phone or whatever.
I'm tempted to get one just to play with. Really, just to play with.
Yeah, like right now, what I'm looking at is, do I get the because I'll be able to get within a week, I'll be able to get ATSC 3.
Oh, nice.
So if Silicon Dust of HD Home Run wants to send me a free one, because I don't see them on Amazon, I'd like to get one. They won't sponsor me though. Probably they'll sponsor Lion.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be quite some time before we get ATSC 3.0 here where I am.
Oh, Canada? I don't even know if they'll ever do it. Like,
look how long it took for us to get ATSC.
Oh, I know.
Right, like here, at least in Newfoundland, they shut down the analog transmitters in 2011. Here in Newfoundland, and they switched over to ATSC.
Yeah. Canada is slow to adopt that. They do have sub channels, but they don't have a lot of sub channels. And like Toronto, I don't think there's any sub channels. Where's Patrick? Is he still on there? I don't know if he knows if there's any in Montreal. There is in Montreal, the ones that you get from the American side.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I'm worried about ATSC 3.0, for my friend that lives, you know who I'm talking about, Anthony, Group Galaxy.
Yep.
I'm worried that he's going to lose. And for you, I'm worried it's going to be... now, this is not... Nobody told me this. I'm just thinking that everything's going to be blacked out for us.
With ATSC 3?
Yeah.
That is a Canadian worry, that you'll have to be plugged into an IP internet protocol to do that. And I hope that I can get around it with a VPN or something like that. But with ATSC 3, they're going to have pay channels, right? So they might still have your open, free, private, like they don't know what you're seeing. That's what I like about broadcast TV. Unlike cable and other services like that, they know what you're watching. They're getting data on you, for targeted ads and stuff. And ATSC 3, they want to do targeted ads like how YouTube's able to do, and Facebook and other, social media is able to do that. And that's why social media dominates in advertising, because they can get that targeted advertising information on people.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm worried about. Now, I'm very worried about that. So we're going to be limited to, like, for me, like, how many, like, in your area, how many Canadian channels are specifically in your area? Like, I can't remember.
One.
So
CKWS.
So if with ATSC 3.0, you may end up losing every other channel you have, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think so. I think they'll still have the main channels. What I think it might end up doing is some of the Diginets might be pay TV or some sort of plan,
Mm-hmm.
But it's so early. It's too early to tell. I don't want to be doom and gloom. My hobby of free to air satellite has been like, you can go in the history of the doom and gloom of satellite. The old days, they're going to scramble the channels, but because everyone liked HBO. When HBO got scrambled, people are like, this is the end of satellite, but there's still stuff to watch there. It's just you weren't able to get the movie channels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's I mean, right now we're in a golden age of television. I like over the air TV. I like satellite air TV. But if that were to go away, I guess I would only have to be able to stream. But there's so much to stream. I don't have enough time to watch a lot of the content that's out there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But the one thing I like about because I like news, I like to get that on the fly breaking news. That you can get. With broadcast, I like getting my local news on over the air, just to see what's gonna, get that package especially for local news. Patrick's back on here.
I think he is here. He just
Yeah, you just
Sorry,
turned back
guys.
on. He has that. Patrick has the internet where it. He's out. He's on mobile internet where he's at. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not on
it's
mobile.
mobile. Oh, you're not on mobile. You're on. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. But you were telling me last time.
Yes, I'm on old school ADSL.
Oh gosh.
ADSL. Okay, I had ADSL back when I was living in Ottawa, and
And
I was watching YouTube videos.
I did
Can't even
do
get
what?
ADSL.
Huh?
Bell doesn't provide ADSL here anymore, just fiber.
No.
Yep.
I have it from from the line of Bell, but it's from Tech Savvy.
Oh, Tech Savvy, yeah, Tech Savvy.
Yeah, they're kind of cheaper here, and I don't have to pay my my dry loop with them, so it's a good minus or plus, and that's quite fine. And the worst thing here, they just put fiber in all the village area and up to my road too, because there's a tower for 5G here, so I have fiber on the road where am I, but no access to it.
Yeah, that same. There's this some person.
So this is the bars with Me TV where it's VLC doesn't provide it, but it's like bars around it, which is really annoying when I try to watch Me TV. But in VLC, I can crop it. Like I can crop it and make it full screen, and get rid of the bars.
There's actually someone I know that lives on a street that has fiber. The fiber pole is literally right in front of his window, and he can't get fiber.
Is it Bell? Obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
I think they tried to mess with our heads. I don't know. But.
Oh yeah, they're messing with us or whatever. They probably that's like, hey, let's mess with the people because we're the monopoly. They can't really do anything to stop us. That might be part of my vendetta against Bell, because when I was really struggling poor, I'm making like $10 an hour below living wage and living in Ottawa, and I had a cell phone, and they were sending me and I couldn't pay my bill anymore, and they were sending me threatening letters that they're going to put a lien against any of my property because I couldn't pay my cell phone bill. I've not been a fan of Bell. Yeah,
they're not allowed to do that.
That they're making threatening things like that back in now early 2000s, but that's when the contracts were still. Yeah,
your city can do that, isn't it? Your if you don't pay your taxes, they can do that, but the Bell cannot. Is that right?
I don't know. It was like it was a long time ago.
I don't think Bell can put a lien on your property just because you don't pay a stupid bill.
Yeah, I don't know.
They make more money by selling it to a collection agency than they would.
Yes, I think they're sorry. I'm not the lien. They were going to send a collection agency after me or something, and I just paid the bill to get them. It's like, okay, I want to get this out of here. And there were jerks about my mother's modem. We switched from Bell to Rogers. I brought the modem back. They lost the paperwork. They're going to charge her hundreds of dollars for this old, outdated ADSL modem.
Mm-hmm. Man, Bell. We actually got two providers. We got Bell and Rogers here.
Yeah, we got that here too. When I first moved here,
currently installed in the house, we have Bell and Rogers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because we originally got the Rogers line for my fiance's work, because he's working at home ever since COVID last year. Sorry, not allowed to say that word. Ever since that year.
Yeah, is it permitted to say this word on the stream or not?
YouTube will put, if you talk too much about it, YouTube will put like a COVID information thing on the bottom. If you talk too much about COVID,
let's not.
Yeah.
The covert disease.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got two lines here. We got Bell, which is our home internet line for our home internet. Because they have the fast internet gig 1.5, which we need that bandwidth the way we use it. And we got internet Rogers 150 for work at home related. And we actually originally had internet 75, but Rogers actually sold me 150 for like $30 or $40 cheaper than 75 was because they wanted me to upgrade. So currently, our internet with Rogers is only $54 a month for internet 150.
Wow. I pay 43 for 5 megabytes. Oh, Jesus. I think I'm a good client for the Wi-Fi internet from a church or something. We're gonna maybe I have some friend the other side of the lake that's gonna maybe work with me to install some antennas to get it from the nearby guy who has a cable, something like that. We try to find solution, but by the time we do maybe this spring, maybe Bell will provide us with fiber. We don't know. We're still in expectative here. We're waiting, and we're not doing much, but we all have internet. Maybe we don't know. I don't know what they're doing. In fact, Bell, I call them the telecommunication mafia of Canada.
Yeah.
So we never knew what to do with them.
Yeah. It's.
See,
yeah, I just boycott them. Like I don't use their stuff, right? So try to I use PC Mobile. I don't even know if they use Bell or Rogers towers, but it just it's an alternative. And I pay $100 a year for pay as you go for my cell phone, and and I also pay. We got internet through a local telecommunication companies that uses the cable line, and we have unlimited because it's technically limited, but they have no way of tracking how much data we use. So we're unlimited.
There's a miscommunication between them and the cable provider.
Yeah, well, they were promoting unlimited through fiber, but not necessarily through cable because they have fiber, they have cable. Like they're like the third party. So they're licensed in Canada. They can use the CRTC makes it so they have to let them use their lines for internet. Same thing as with Bell with their fiber optic lines.
Yeah, is it the same with cellular phone? Because my provider, they told me that you're using Videotron, but my provider is Fizz. And is it a subsidiary or independent as for the internet provider? Is it the same case? Do you know that? It's the same case. Are the internet provider in the same situation, in the same position as the cellular phone provider, or are they able to do that without being a subsidiary of the real company? That's the question I have. If you get it,
I think the way the law is that they can do that. So WTC, who I use, is they have Bell's lines, and then they buy a certain amount of bandwidth or something like that, and they're allowed to use that on their.
Okay, and they're not a subsidiary of Bell.
No, they're not like what's the Taidomi the Comwave. He's always promoting that on Bell channels. So you watch CTV, Newsnet, and you see Tom Domi fight back against Big Cable, and I don't know what Comwave was. Well, I researched Comwave and was going to go look at them, and then they were DSL, and they were. I just got bad reviews on their billing practices, so it made me like, oh, I don't want to go. If they're overcharging
so
people,
they're related to Bell. If they have the same problem with the bills, they are related to Bell. Because Bell, Bell, there's a mess. They're really messy with their bills. So
yeah, I think we got a troll here.
All right, I blocked him.
I'm the troll.
No, you're not the troll. It's somebody else. I don't know if it worked or whatever. Someone said Domi. Yeah.
Yeah, Comwave. I've heard a lot of bad stuff about Comwave myself as well. Because when we were looking at a second line, because for my fiance's work, we were looking at multiple companies, and because his work is paying up to a certain amount for the internet. So, and the best price I got was Rogers, but I looked at vMedia, Comwave, a couple other providers, Tech Savvy, a couple other providers, and the best price I got was Rogers.
Rogers. Oh yeah. I thought the little one were cheaper than the big ones. Were always
sometimes they are. Yeah.
Here we have E-Box. Do you have E-Box there?
E-Box?
E-Box, no?
No.
That's a problem here. I'm not too much of a talker because here it's look like we are not in the same country. We don't have the same provider most of the time.
Only ones I know is here is vMedia, Comwave, Tech Savvy, Rogers, and Bell, and Starlink.
So here we have some like Cogeco, Videotron, Tech Savvy, not so much, E-Box, Cogeco, and like I said, don't ring a bell to you at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got some family members that live in Quebec.
We have the same situation. We don't have the same names. That's all about it.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Videotron basically Rogers?
No, it's a Rogers for Quebec. You can put it that way because they have stadium and things like that. So it's so little. It's so little Rogers.
Would you say Videotron's more? Is it more like Rogers than Bell? I guess.
Yes, because they are a cable provider, but they don't have satellite services. And
Shaw is a cable provider in a lot of areas in Canada.
Yes.
And Shaw used to be in a lot of Ontario, but then they traded with Cogeco. So Shaw used to be in like Smith Falls. I used to volunteer.
So you have Cogeco in Ontario?
Yes, Kingston has Cogeco, and Armpire, Pembroke, Renfrew are all Cogeco. Niagara Falls is Cogeco because Rogers, at one time, they sold a bunch of their areas off of cable to Cogeco, but I don't know. I don't know the rumors or whatever. Cogeco is Rogers light, like Rogers for the little towns that Rogers doesn't care about.
You can put it that way. It's also the case here.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's the feel I get from it.
Yes, it's the case here too. So you're probably right.
Rogers only showed up here in 2001. Rogers showed up here in 2001. They bought our local community cable, Newfoundland Community Cable, in 2001, which was owned by what?
There was a lot of buying in those time from cable, buying little cable distributors. Everywhere in Canada, there was a lot of little cable provider were bought by the big one. Here it was Videotron. All little cable were bought by Videotron here. So they mostly base their business on what was established by those little one in little place like I am and Quebec and up north. All those went to Videotron. Here in Quebec, the west it's about Videotron, Montreal too, and the rest, the little village, the east is Cogeco.
I'm sorry, I messed up. It was called Cable Atlantic. Originally Avalon Cablevision, it was called here before Rogers bought them in 2001.
Cablevision? There's a Cablevision nearby here too.
Yeah, Cablevision's like what back in the 70s is what they called cable. If you can remember that.
Well,
I remember it from the 80s. I remember from the 80s, my father, who's like old school, out of a valley accent, like to the T, would call Cablevision. And when I used to volunteer for community cable in Armpire, and it was at the time it was Rogers, and it was just getting bought by Cogeco at that time. But in their garage, they would have like a sign that said Armpire Cablevision. They're always like little local cable companies is how a lot of them started. And then later, McLean Hunter bought whoever was doing arm power cable vision, and it just sort of, they get bought by all these companies. Then eventually Rogers buys McLean Hunter, and then it's these big companies that own everything. But there is still small cable systems in North America.
Yeah, I forgot about another one too. Eastlink also. Sorry I interrupted you. Eastlink is here
go ahead.
as well, which is basically Rogers. Eastlink is.
Those times are gone since they don't use big dish like anymore. The time of the old little cable provider are gone. With the need for internet,
they still have the DigiCipher receivers and all that. They still they have backhauls to cable systems. So a lot of the C-band stuff is like, it's all the cable channels. If you look over on Linksat and you see all these encrypted channels, those are the channels that are on satellite that are the PowerView and the DigiCipher stuff is all going to small cable systems.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll switch it and they don't get all the card info, so it's in the clear for a while. That's why we get these little gems for like a short while. They'll put it on a transponder and then we'll get a cable channel on C-band satellite in the clear for maybe a week or two. Same thing with HDNet, AXS. They were in the clear for about a week because they're probably switching to a different cable system, or who knows what the backstory of it all is. But that's why we always have gotten lots of free channels through satellite. I'm hoping they're going to eventually forget that there is people like us that have free to air stuff and think, well, no one's watching that stuff, and then just make everything in the clear and then not realize that there's like thousands of people watching free TV. So cable companies, big cable companies they're not even have the vision to see it. It's their engineers who know what's going on, but a lot of those engineers are in their 60s and 70s and are going to retire, and eventually the people that know how to work those systems are going to no longer be working for the cable system anymore, or for the satellite uplinks or whatever, the big media companies.
So you think we're going to lose all this soon? No, by the end of the career?
I think because there's still small cable systems that are way up in remote areas, that's why we still need C-band. That's why, they need those frequencies for if you're like, they don't have fiber cable running all the way to small communities up north and way out in the boonies and stuff like that. They'll have a little TV station, a little cable system that gets like 60 channels on analog. They still have some of these small systems that do that.
There's actually some around here that still has analog. Very small communities, like bigger towns, like where I am, and the other small towns around is all digital. But there are one or two areas that is still.
Well, you can Google that. There's a town north of Kingston. It was a couple of years ago. They still had. They just brought out analog cable. They must have bought old Rogers. Maybe they bought Rogers equipment, and they were advertising. No cable box. You just plug it into your TV. Like that's like a selling feature to people who live in
it's exactly area. What they do in seniors' homes with a lot of apartments. I worked on those one time, a long time ago, and the funny thing is they use Bell receiver, hook up the receiver and component to an HEVC modulator. They have a bunch of them put up like you do with your new boxes and your video. But the thing is, they have about, let's say, 10, 20 Bell receivers. So they have some kind of commercial, what I'd say, sorry, I lost the word, meant to say, they use it in a commercial way somehow. But why don't they use real dish, real receiver instead? They use DTH, or instead of using the another means like we do with C-band and all those stuff, they use rebroadcasting services like Bell to make their own provider for the senior home. So my question here is where are those? What's the use of having professional equipment to make your own TV provider if you are gonna use the home service.
The
from
the $40 satellite receivers for free to air or stuff like that. You mean, or
the question, I don't know if you see my point, but my point is, what's the point of using what everyone is using, like Bell TV or Bell Express View, to make up a provider for your senior home with 200 places? What's the point of using of you having broadcast rebroadcast system if you're gonna use the same thing as everyone use? I see. It does mean that you have some kind of commercial possibilities with the receiver everyone is using. Is what
I think. Yeah, I think some of the apartments too, they can get that stuff secondhand, so they're getting it like pennies on the dollar, or flea market price, and they're able to do that. See that being part of it. I don't know. It'd be fun to have like your own cable system especially for apartments for seniors, and like not all seniors, but a lot of seniors have a hard time with like the cable box, and they've been used to watching analog TV most of their lives, and then they get this cable box and they can't, they're having a hard time getting that to work. They don't want to use a smart TV. They just want to be able to have a handful of channels that they know where to go to find the shows they watch. If they're like, my grandmother was Young and the Restless, and maybe Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. But a lot of seniors, it's easier to just get them over the air. In a lot of areas, you just need to get them plugged into an antenna, because it gets them the shows that they want, the network shows, and they don't need. They find out they don't need cable.
Problem is the remote.
That's like here. When they shut down the where my nan used to live, she's not with us anymore, unfortunately. But when they shut down the analog transmitters for NTV and CBC, we did not know about the SHA thing that they had. We didn't know about that at the time. So they ended up subscribing to Bell Satellite, because the only channels that my nan watched was NTV for her soap operas and stuff, and CBC for the news, and of course NTV for the news. But she lost that when they shut down the analog transmitters, because I'm not sure if you're watching my video, but there used to be repeaters all over Newfoundland for NTV, but now there's only one transmitter, which is the one here in the city, and they had no choice but to switch to Bell Satellite, because we didn't know about LTSS at the time. And the only channel that Nan ever watched was NTV and CBC on her satellite. So
they just wanted the two channels. They got the whole system, and then they could have gotten what they got with over the air. So
at the time, Shaw did have a special program, a special price for this situation. They were providing a low-cost receiver with a special selection of channel to so they still can watch their the television. And when we were installing those sat, we needed to get it quick, because we were not paid that much to install those receiver. Shaw was providing the dish and the special receiver with a remote that it was cheap, and I think it was costing about $20 a month at that time, $23. So, but this program ended a long time ago, unfortunately.
Isn't it LTSS?
What about LTSS?
That's what you're talking about, is it? LTSS?
I don't know. Is that what you're talking about, Patrick?
No, I'm talking about Shaw Direct provider, the Shaw Direct satellite provider. They were just providing the same stuff on the cheap with a bill that was about $23 at that time.
Yeah, Shaw Direct, and I was an LTSS subscriber.
What is LTSS? Maybe you can define it for me.
Yeah. So it was the local TV satellite solution. I've got a video on that on my channel, and so this was a program that Shaw had. So Shaw Direct was buying Global or merging Chorus Entertainment. There's like a merger that went on, and for the CRTC to approve it, they were going to make them and shut down these repeaters, provide satellites to the customers that were going to be affected by the over-the-air shutdown.
Okay.
But they did not tell people about it. There was no public awareness of this. It was very, hush, hush, hush. and it
I
wasn't
knew about
promoted.
this because I was installing those dishes
Yeah.
at the time.
And you had to apply for it. You couldn't be a subscriber to cable or any other satellite. So you couldn't say, okay, I'm going to ditch Rogers and go with this. They made it difficult to do that. So you had to be only an over-the-air watcher. And so there's like red tape to jump through. I was fortunate enough I didn't have cable. So I was, okay, I got, but my father, I got him on it because he has a cottage. And so he got it out at the cottage. And so it only ran for a couple of years. We had it for a couple of years, and we got like what was it, like 10 to 20 channels, probably like 10 channels, all the Canadian main networks like CHTV, CTV, CBC, and they weren't high definition either. Well, they were toward the end. They switched everything to high definition. They gave us high definition for like a few months. Anyway, it's all like the Canadian networks, CTV, City TV, all those,
Did you have
channels
the same
that are
problem? There was quite a problem with those channels here. The funny the funny thing with those channels, there was the following situation though. If you were maybe, let's say, in Quebec City, as an example, you were not able to take the local station of Quebec for, let's say, TVA or SRC, which is the French CBC. You were forced to get the one they decided for you. So they were supposed to replace local access to television, but they were replacing it with Montreal's version of it or some others.
Yeah. So I couldn't get CKWS on the LTSS, or I couldn't get CBC Ottawa, but I got CBC Toronto, and I live closer to Ottawa, I'm closer to Ottawa than I am to Toronto, so I didn't get that. And I was from Ottawa, so I was hoping I could get CBC Ottawa, and they don't put CBC on a sub channel on CKWS or anything like that. They won't do that here in Canada. They won't put TV Ontario on here. So you saw me flip through my HD home run. I got one channel from this area, which is CKWS. I guess if I wanted to, I can aim my antenna and maybe aim my antenna north and maybe get TV Ontario, lose all the American channels, but I can I rather watch, PBS will come in. It's kind of like TV Ontario.
But all those televisions just for serendipity effect. If you want to see something, just download it. I'm sorry, but you want to find stuff. But if you know what you need now, in those day and age, you don't need television. You just need your internet connection.
Yeah,
you want to discover some things. That's why we use C-bands and all those stuff.
Yeah, you discover stuff. Like, I like to. Yeah, that's what I like about it. Is I like to discover stuff and sort of put on and watch it for a little while. And I think I discover more stuff from linear TV than I do from the internet. And I think YouTube's kind of nice because I use my account, so it suggests a lot of stuff that I like. So I'll have this page of like 20 videos, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, I like that one, and I'll sit and watch that, and then there'll be another suggested video. So I can lose a lot of time on YouTube. And imagine Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is crazy.
Every time you use YouTube, you're logged into your account.
Yeah. I always I'm on my account, and plus I'm answering questions a lot. I get a lot of comments. I get like a couple. I don't know how many I get. Like a few. I wake up every morning. People are like asking or making comments in the middle of the night, and I work a day job, so I don't know. I get all these middle of the night comments, and so every morning I'm kind of waking up and I'm kind of tired, and I answer the questions, and I think sometimes I might answer like. I think there's been a few times where people might have taken it rudely, where I just answered it and I was like, what? And I shouldn't have, maybe I shouldn't answer the questions when I'm still not awake.
So it's getting taxing, or it's kind of taxing on your life right now?
No, it's not to the point where like if I had a lot more subscribers, I think it would get a little scary. But it is hard because I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on other platforms. And so I have to go to all these websites. And I might miss someone because I'm going to the more obscure websites and not necessarily the two main ones would be Facebook and YouTube.
Okay.
And
Like for
it'll be
YouTube.
on Discord. People out there, they like Discord because and I'm only on Discord a couple times a week. I'll turn on my Discord, but my phone will alert me if someone's chatting on Discord. And usually Discord is not instant, right? You send a message and then I'll probably get back within that day if it's directed at me.
Wow.
Yes.
I was just saying, wow. Life of a YouTuber. I said joking around. A lot of work.
Yeah,
Really?
and I'm doing another job too. So yeah.
Well,
And I
yes,
want to
but
come up
just-
with new content. Like if I just let my channel sit, the rest of the videos will go down. Like every time you put a new video up, all your other videos get more views. Like it's just the way the algorithm must work.
Yeah, I'm
If you
actually
let your channel, if you just make one video and let your channel sit, you'll get like 31 views, and that will be it.
I'm happy you're one of the very few YouTubers I watch that don't clickbait their stuff. I absolutely cannot stand clickbaiters. I'm really happy
What's
that
an
you don't.
example of
do that.
could be?
Well, the thing is the amount of money they can make. So like with clickbait, we're a clickbait society, right? Like all our news has become clickbait.
Yeah, but like
Or-
what I'm trying to say, you're one of the YouTubers that don't ever clickbait that I've noticed anyway. So I'm happy about that.
Maybe I'm just not good at it.
I mean, I don't see any like it's exactly what the thumbnail that you have.
Oh
or
yeah,
is exactly what's in the video.
I watched a Starlink video today, and they spent 20 minutes, or no, it's 2 minutes before they even got to what the thumbnail said, promoting their products. And they had like 4 different things that they were promoting. And I'm like in the comments, I was in a bad mood, so I was like, "Yeah, skip to the first 2 minutes to get to the actual topic of the video." Because they're like 100,000 plus subscribing YouTube channel that gets like all these views, and they got sponsors and stuff, and they probably got their Starlink kit sent to them for free.
Yeah, but see, like what your title says is what the video is actually about. That's what I.
Oh yeah. I usually want to keep that. Yeah, keep it to what it's supposed to be, and not be 20 minutes of a day in my life video to get to the.
So you're doing more YouTubes and using it?
I'm doing more now. I probably within my next month or so, my work's going back to its normal rate. So I might not be able to do as much, or even for me, if I can get 1 or 2 videos out a week, that's good.
Okay.
But I was actually working part-time over a year ago, and I kind of liked being part-time because it gave me a few days a week to work on videos. And like those days I wasn't working, I went and worked on videos. I was working on videos, but I think it will go back to that. But I might go through a season where I'm just working and not able to do as much videos. So I might do live streams. I might be doing Saturday night live streams.
So
That'd
it
be
takes
nice.
more time. Is it easier to make a live stream?
It is for me because I hate my voice, and I'm sitting there editing out every little pause and hum that I put in when I'm doing these things, and I hate editing myself.
It's impossible to edit yourself. I know I have the same situation.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, same.
Yeah, so
It's-
I rather do the
pain.
live stream, and then I never watch it ever. Like I never watch it again. There's been some like times when I have talked to people on the live streams, I want to listen to what they said because they said such brilliant stuff when they called me, and I wanted to hear it back. But a lot of the live streams, I might watch it once, and that'll be it. I'll never watch it ever again.
I mean, like, I absolutely hate editing too. Now, I don't do much editing on my videos. I do very little editing, but I absolutely cannot stand it. The worst thing of uploading videos to YouTube is editing. It's the most boring thing ever. Editing is, in my opinion.
I'm the guy for editing. I'm a professional video editor.
I don't have the money for that.
Yes, it is costly.
The thing is, there's probably going to be AI editing software, and I think there already is that, right? Where you put the videos in and it makes the flow better. It cuts to so it does like, when you stop, it will cut to a more zoomed in clip and go back out and do all that. But with AI, so editing probably will be, it won't be on a Linux system. That'll be the problem.
It does exist. It does exist right now, but it's based on the script for scripted shows. So it recognizes it does like YouTube does. It put the text down, use the text to edit part of the video to help you make the rush, but it won't help you if you're editing for YouTube or editing on a non-professional manner.
Yeah, I don't like the YouTube editor. That's one thing I don't like. I tried to like edit out Vankyo. They're one thing they don't want you doing in their videos is don't show their gift card. So and they asked me to take that down, redo it, and I didn't even show the gift card, but it was you see the manual and you can see the gift card kind of slipping underneath them. Anyway, Vankyo probably just fired me. I love Vankyo though. I have one of their tablets, and my daughter uses it all the time. It's like one of their, I don't know, $100 tablets that they sell. It's great, and I'm not even going to say this because they gave me one for free. It's like, well, I'm glad I got it for free, but it does everything. It's I think I would buy another one if I had to buy one.
I don't think my YouTube channel is ever going to get to the point that any company is going to give me something. Ever.
Does it?
I mean, I don't.
Yes, but it's just because you don't have enough viewer. But is it the subject to? It's about the subject or what?
Well, see, I only.
Because I don't know your website. That's why I am asking.
I only have like 140 subscribers.
Okay.
So that's like no company will want to,
They start about 10,000, I think. Is it right?
What?
Is it right that YouTube start monetizing?
You have to have you have to have 1,000, and you have to have a certain amount of watch time to be monetized. But even then, if you're not getting the views, like it's not going to be a huge amount of money that you make from the ads. It all depends on the ads too. It's.
But does it impair your motivation of doing those video or what? Does it motivate? Does it help you motivate? What about your motivation?
Even though when I got monetized, it wasn't a whole lot of money, but I was like, I'm making money doing videos. I'm finally, getting paid doing something I've always wanted to do. And I've always wanted to work in the media, and it was always kind of difficult to get in the media. It's
overrated.
Yeah. Well, just doing what I do. I do love doing what I do, and I'm glad that I don't do it 7 days a week. I have a job where I drive, and I can kind of, my brain can kind of relax, and I can think about what I'm going to do for the next few days, and before I come back and do a video, it gives me my brain that time to relax. So I kind of appreciate that.
Now, if you're not allowed to answer this, don't, because I don't want you to get in trouble. But what I'm saying, when was your first, if you will, video that you did that someone gave you something, or you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to say the company, but when did you first start getting, emails from companies saying, "Hey, will you review my product for me?" Like, when did you start that?
I contacted Tech 2000, so they didn't contact me. I contacted them. Okay. And I wanted to see about doing some promotion, and then they're like, "Would you set up a satellite dish for us?"
So,
and they wanted a video tutorial of setting up a C-band dish. So that was like,
because it's way
$1,000 worth of
that
dish.
Way than themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, so when did you how many subscribers did you have when you did get, when you got that communication going?
I think it was monetized at that point.
Okay.
And I did a few Satellite Nerd episodes, and I think it was at least monetized. And I was just trying to, I like a business. Sometimes with a business, you just got to approach people. I approach, I write emails to people, and sometimes they just ignore me because they're media people, and they just, they're PR people. It makes them feel big, and makes their head, I'm a media person, whatever. But they don't answer it. And other times, they'll get back to me. I contacted Orby when they came out. I contacted them. Would you be interested in doing sponsoring me to do a video? But they turned me down. They did respond and said that. I also the C-band satellite company. I approached them. I contacted them. Hey, I do this channel. They told me they're aware of my channel. Yeah, and I wanted to know if they wanted to send me a receiver, their $600 receiver, and do a review of them. And I think one of the things that was against me for Orby and the C-band company was I was in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to. They don't want to say that their service is outside of the United States. So that might have been one of the elements that wasn't working in my favor.
You're talking about that company. What's the name of it?
I won't mention them. We won't mention them.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
looking at them before.
Yeah. If they were to help me out, like even just in a way of being able to, I make content based on their products or whatever, I would probably be more generous to promote them. But yeah, so
yeah, I know who you're talking about because I was looking at them. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are, and I haven't done a review because I don't want to give them a bad review. I just, everyone has an opinion, and let them have that. And I could have given them more of my opinion if I actually had their equipment plugged into my satellite, and I could give you my honest opinion of what was going on.
Yeah,
but they might be Orby next. I don't know,
So there's an XRB. There's probably another one that will fall.
Yeah, there'll probably be with this economy. Yeah,
this will fall.
Eventually, all cable companies are going to fall because already companies are starting to realize that they're not making much money off cable anymore. For example, Rogers has this system called SmartStream, and they give you a box for $5 a month. I did a review of it. They give you this box for $5 a month, and you can do you don't have access to their cable channels, but you can do watch Netflix, YouTube, and all your streaming providers on that from a box provided from Rogers. And I really enjoyed it. And now, of course, I got trolls saying, "Sure, why would you pay $5 a month when you could just get something like a Fire Stick?" I said, "This is a solution for someone that don't have the $40 or $60 up front to buy it, but they may be able to do an extra $5 a month."
And with Fire Stick, there is a lot of people, they don't want to do pirate content. They want to have a clear conscience. They don't want to be doing. That's why I like Linux. I got a video editing software where a lot of people who use Macs and Windows and stuff. Oh yeah, I use they'll use whatever, but it's a pirated version. My conscience, I like to be able to have that freedom that I'm not using a pirated version. I'm doing everything legal, and so that's one thing I like about. And with free to air, it's the same thing. And over the air TV, it's all.
No, I'm not going to give my channel a show.
It's not a jailbreaked Fire Stick,
Yeah, but this I'm gonna personally, if you're interested in it, you can look at it yourself. But I'm not going to obviously say my channel out loud because I don't want that type of. But I'll send you a link privately of that video.
You should. You need a shameless. You want to be successful. You got to be a shameless promoter.
I don't want to
use the shameless plug. Yes,
but if you don't want it, you don't have to. But
it's more popular than you. Use him.
That's how I got to the little bit of success where I'm at. I'm a shameless plugger.
If you like, how about this? If you like my content, you could do a shout out for me. How about that?
Yep.
Because I don't want to give myself a shout out. I'm not like that. All right, because no, it would be cool, but no.
But that's the way people are now. Right now, they share on others' websites, on other YouTubes. They talk about themselves, and everyone start to be known by someone else. If you get out of your network, you will be more known.
Now, if you're embarrassed for me for being such a shameless self-promoter, if you want to promote my stuff, promote links on social media for my videos and stuff, I would appreciate that. If you're embarrassed for me for being such a shameless promoter. There's actually a local Facebook group here in Kingston called Kingston Shameless Promotion, where you can do stuff like that. And there's YouTube groups. I'll tell you a thing or two about the YouTube groups, though, if you're a creator, video creator. So there's YouTube groups where you can put your videos in and share, YouTube promotion groups, but no one actually watches your videos in those groups. It's just everyone posting their YouTube videos on there, and they actually don't even really watch. Very rarely will watch somebody else's YouTube video in that Facebook group. So, guys,
That's it.
I am gonna go to bed. It's way past
So-
my bedtime.
Bye.
All right, I'll talk to you guys. Hey, we should do this again sometime. Call in again. I'm just gonna turn off the streams here, guys. So yeah, we'll do this again. I'd like Saturday nights, and I was thinking of doing like another night. Anyway, now that my daughter is getting a little bit older, not doing the nap time at 1, so I was thinking I'll do evenings. Saturday evenings works good. I was also thinking of a weekday evening as well. Anyway, I'll throw it on there, and always throw a little bit of a warning. I'll post it on my Facebook page at robbiestrike.com, which takes you to my Facebook page, and to freesatellitetv.net. That will take you to my satellite page. And if you're looking for a satellite receiver, go to freesatellitetv.net. There'll be a little post there with a link. That's a referral link. So if you want to help support the show, you can do that by buying some products on eBay or Amazon, by clicking on those links. Even if you don't buy those products, if you go buy other stuff, it helps me just a little bit by clicking on that link. So thank you so much for watching this 1 hour stream that went 3 hours, and I had a great time doing it. My voice is all dry, but I'll talk to you guys later. Remember to friend me over at Facebook at robbie.strike.3. You can find me there. Connect with me over at Discord, and we'll talk again. My data is going up, so we're going to cut out because I can tell the data is going up for some reason. I got to pee. So good night.